and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracies. Heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat each and every day. I am live in the Ingalls studio. I am Tank Spencer. He is Jeremy Greene, and live from Mullet Manor. And a coiffed mullet.
It is a greatly trunicated mullet, Tankerous. The mullet
nice.
is still present, but it has gone from full share, lion, whatever you wanted to call that thing.
Yes.
Back to where we started.
Yes, it was very unkempt. You were starting to look like some, I don't know, some hobo from...
Well, it works out great
the tracks or something.
Well,
and now,
basically, that was my retirement plan because I could walk down any street in downtown Asheville and just go, "Hey, could you help me out?" And people would go, "Sure." I wound up with more coffee cups full of chains than you could shake a stick at.
You also were trending down the path of having better curls than Farrah Fawcett, and that's yeah. I'm glad you did something with it. And I'm
multidimensional, Tank. There's many sides of the mullet.
Indeed. Welcome, everybody, into the program. Hopefully you are having a wonderful day this July the 2nd, Tuesday, the final day of the week here for the Sportsocracy due to obviously the summer holiday, Independence Day holiday. It's going to be a long holiday weekend. Hope you get to do exactly the same. We've got a lot of football to talk about today on the program. We're going to talk about the best weapons in the NFL, continuing our season previews, team-by-team previews. Another quartet of teams today, all loaded with great weapons. We'll do the previews for the Miami Dolphins, for the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Philadelphia Eagles. All of those teams stacked, loaded with talent. Maybe some questions at the quarterback position for a couple of those teams, or just whether or not you can get them over the hump. We'll talk about those coming up. But first, I believe we have to start with the teaser of the day, which was the latest drop from EA Sports. College Football 25 comes out in just 2 weeks. The early release date is just 2 weeks from today.
July 16th. You rest assured you won't see me for a minute. Because I'll be buried into a West Virginia Mountaineers dynasty. Bring it back to the glory days, singing country roads all night long. No big deal.
Yeah. I will. I'll actually be taking vacation that week. Still trying to figure out how we're going to do that. We'll be in town for the early part of the week, and we can do the release special on release day, and then I'm done the rest of the week. I got to hit the beach. I got to have some salt therapy. I will be taking the PS5 with me though. On the beach vacation, which I know my wife is super happy about.
Oh, yeah.
She just learned of that now, but it will be happening. So, honey, just so we're clear, I apologize.
Have I ever told you my beach video game story?
No.
I've loved video games my whole life. Uh-huh. My dad loves the beach. Well, every year when we go to the beach, I would take video games with me. I have a first cousin that enjoyed video games as much as I did. I will never forget, I was like 5 years old, and my dad walked up from the beach, made a sandwich, walked back to the door, looked at us playing video games at the beach, and went, "That's how you end up fat as hell." And it stuck with me my whole life. And he wasn't wrong.
He was not wrong.
He wasn't wrong.
No. Also found today that, Jeremy, while we are playing video games at your place 2 weeks from today, the college football game, we're going to have to order some Cuban sandwiches from that little sandwich shop down the street from you.
I didn't even know this place existed, which is sad because it's beside the liquor store, which I'm pretty sure I could draw a I could draw an Andy Warhol level painting of the area around the Woodford liquor store because I see it quite often. I had no clue this place even existed.
I didn't either until Mark Starling was on DoorDash this morning. Sometimes he orders us breakfast. And today he was like, I'm going to order us something exotic for breakfast. And I went, okay, exotic breakfast. Wherever this is going, let's see. It ended up being
B-team from the Treasure Club, heard.
It ended up being 2 giant Cuban sandwiches at 7:30 in the morning from Tienda El Quetzal. That's the name of the place on Weaverville Road, 150B Weaverville Road. Order from it on DoorDash. You will not be disappointed. I promise you.
I have 3 questions that immediately came to mind when you told me the story. The first one was, how does Mark know about this place? He doesn't live anywhere near here.
No, he does not.
That's A. B, who in the world orders a Cuban sandwich at 7:30 in the morning?
Mm-hmm.
And C, did these people have to walk down to the restaurant and open up just to make you 2 fat men Cuban sandwiches at 7:30 in the morning?
These are all valid, great questions. However, I think... he just found it on DoorDash. He went, there's a place. And I don't know what person looks at Tienda El Quetzal and goes, yeah, that sounds like a great place to get breakfast from. Because I would think tacos and burritos and such, and I'm not a breakfast taco guy. So that wasn't...
Whoa. You're not a breakfast taco guy?
It's not something I seek out.
Okay. Are you a breakfast burrito guy?
Again, it's not something I seek out. If it's there or somebody says, hey, do you want a breakfast burrito? I go, sure, I'll have a breakfast burrito.
The breakfast burrito is the Ford F-250 supplied by Parks Ford mobile studio of all breakfast foods. That's the only food you need. It's everything you could want wrapped in a tortilla, and it is beautiful.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying it's not. When it comes to breakfast, I'm a Southern guy. I'd rather have a biscuit. But
this is where we stray paths. I don't like biscuits all that much.
Yeah, see, that's weird to me.
Most of them are crap. I mean, I hate to break the feelings of many Southerners. Most biscuits are crap. They're usually dry. You could probably take them out in the street and play street hockey with them. There are a few exceptions to that. Bojangles.
Yeah.
That's a special biscuit. See, I prefer the croissant. I like the Burger King croissantwich.
That's a classy way to go sometimes as well.
I also learned that Parks Ford may have been a little forward thinking with our mobile command studio.
Okay. Why's that?
It's too tall to go through a drive-through. It will cut down my fast food intake by 90%.
Really?
Because I cannot go through a drive-through.
That's an important piece of information to have. All right. Thank you for telling me that before I just blindly tried to do that.
Yeah, don't. Parking garages, bad call. If you are wanting to park somewhere, there better be a few parking spots specifically for you, because I've seen you drive. Because you have to make sure you can get the bed in. But man, do people stop and stare everywhere I go. I got a thumbs up from the UPS guy the other day.
Let's go.
I was driving out and he just gave me a thumbs up, like, let's go. I was also taller than him, which made me feel superior in all the ways.
Parks Ford Hendersonville supplying us with the mobile studio, the XL F-250 5-inch lift kit and the 37-inch wheels.
It's so beautiful.
It is massive.
It's
glorious.
So beautiful.
It's going to have the Sportsocracy name on it for the Living the Dream Tour, which we will be embarking on in just a few short weeks. In fact, before the game comes out, we will be heading to our first little stop for the Scott Fish Bowl. Fantasy
Cabarrus Brewing
down in
lovely
Brewing.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, indeed. We will be down there July the 13th for the first stop on the tour. And then after that, we're going to be gearing it up to take it on the road to Canton, Ohio, to really kick off the tour for the Hall of Fame festivities there in the 1st of August. So everything
we'll also
getting
get to see
kicked up
my
here.
old friend of a friend, Nikki Glazer, while we're in Charlotte.
Oh, well, indeed. Everything getting prepared here in the studio for the Living the Dream Tour, brought to you by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings. Parks, Ford, Hendersonville, and our good friends at Dale's Pale Ale as well. Jeremy, the college football teaser today from EA Sports was all about the Dynasty Mode that will look. For people who don't play the game, it's hard to describe to you the excitement of having a Dynasty Mode, of running the off-season, to be able to recruit your own players, to have all of the different aspects thrown into how you recruit, the pitch deck with 14 different options on how to pitch them, from playing time to brand development.
No, I did not see McDonald's bag, so I don't think the way Tennessee recruits is in the game.
Oh. They don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, but you probably still do.
Probably so.
I'm beyond giddy after. I didn't even know that the trailer dropped today. You told me when we linked up to do the pre-production on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, well, I need 7 minutes to watch this. And after I was done, it was full 6 to midnight.
I'm so excited about the return of the video game, but also being able to mimic the actual machinations of college football and how they've changed since the game was last available. Right? The last iteration of this game was really when you could do like the customized conferences and move all the teams around and rebuild that. That's going to be a big part of this game, obviously, because everybody keeps floating around and changing from year to year. You'll be able to create your own, 25-team super conferences if you want to and run it out that way. The 12-team playoff for the first time ever being included in the video game, obviously, since we'll see it for the first time on the field this year. And the iteration of the transfer portal is what I'm excited about. Because I like all those recruiting things. I'm the nerd who sits down and I will play with the rosters more than I will play the actual games.
One of Tank's first questions to me was, how many games do you simulate? And the answer was none of them.
None of them.
Unless it's like we're playing Kennesaw State, at which time, yes, I can probably sim that one out.
Well, and then the reason I asked you that was because I hear so many people talk about the Dynasty Modes. Yes, I love Dynasty Mode, but the farthest I ever got in a Dynasty Mode was probably 10 years. Just because I don't think I can't invest that amount of time to play through every game for 35 years. You have to be simulating games.
Oh, I can.
To do that.
Now that we have a transfer portal, I'll be keeping the notebooks that I kept previously. Those will be returning. I'll be keeping notes on every player I ever recruit, and you rest assured, if he hits that portal, Daddy's home.
Listen, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody else admit that they do that they keep separate notebooks for their video games.
I do.
I do as well.
I keep elaborate notes. At least I did back in the day, and I will again. I do it now with Madden. It's one of the reasons that you play me in an online dynasty, you rest assured this is not going to go your way. I'm better than you at this game, and I pay way more attention to scouting than you do.
I'm so proud right now. Actually, I don't know whether to be proud or sorely
Sad.
Disappointed in our lives. Maybe we're just both equally depressing.
Well, I mean, now here's the thing. The last time we had a college football game, you were married, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, that makes me sad for you. I didn't have HWA at that time, so I had a lot of free time on my hands.
Right. So what are you trying to say?
Nothing.
Stay married a few years. You'll You'll get back to that point. Trust me. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Thanks for calling Discover.
We're clear.
Diego, it's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspires me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most. Attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
What's up, everybody? This is Stephen A. Smith, host of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the very least as I bring you all new episodes that feature the biggest headlines in the world of sports, pop culture, and business. And I answer your phone calls and respond to your tweets. You'll hear my unfiltered opinions and straight-shooter interviews with top celebrities and game changers. All that and more. So listen to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
My name is Nathaniel Darnell, and this is my Ingalls story. Here at Darnell Farms, we think our fruits and vegetables are some of the best you're going to find. We've been working with Ingalls for years, and the support they give to family farms like ours is outstanding. Right here in the Great Smoky Mountains, next to the Tuckasegee River, we have the perfect place to grow our produce. If you want the best local quality, you cannot do better than Ingalls.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling?
Because I love football.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Yes, just 2 weeks away from College Football 25 hitting your device. I mean, you got to wait another 3 days for it to hit the shelves. So order now. That's where we have to be part of the campaign push for this, because I mean, I feel like we've waited so long. We need to set records with this. We need to get everyone to make this the greatest selling game of all time.
It will be.
It'll. You think so?
I do. It will be.
Oh,
I mean, it's not going to be. What's that stupid?
Better than like Call of Duty?
It'll be Call of Duty. What's that stupid game that has like every video game record? It's like glorified Legos.
Minecraft?
Minecraft. It won't beat that, but it'll beat every other console game you've ever seen.
I feel like that's a that's a bold prediction. Trying to think.
Well, you took it away from us.
I'm looking up here. 200,000 or 300 million in sales for Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. You're not touching that.
200 million in sales for Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't think there's 200 million people that are going to buy this game. Although maybe, I mean, there are a lot of people that are going to buy it twice. Right? A lot of people have said we're getting the digital copy and we're getting the physical copy just so we can have the physical copy. So maybe you have enough of those to skew that number, but that seems like an outrageous.
They sold 200 million copies of GTA 5.
That's what it says. According to the Wikipedia list that I pulled up, best-selling games of all time.
Is that money or physical copies?
That is multi-platform. That is number of sales.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. 200 million.
It ain't going to touch that.
I wouldn't think so. I mean, I think more likely you go like
10 million.
Ooh. 10, that's it?
10 million is pretty strong.
Oh, that wouldn't even put it like on the map of the best-selling games of all time.
Really?
Let's see here. I'm trying to see if there is a sports game on this list.
Sport games don't sell as well as like Call of Duty and things like that, which is it's always been weird to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, you have a limited audience, right? Because you got worldwide audience for all of the other games. Sports games, especially ours, that's NFL games, obviously super popular in the United States. Outside of the United States, no, probably not. NBA, it might be a little more popular outside of America than NFL games. I'm not positive on that. I'm just spitballing here.
2K has a really immersive online platform, too.
The highest-selling sports game, like for sports game, because I don't think you should include, like, Wii Sports. That doesn't count. I'm not counting Wii Sports or the Wii Sports Resort or
Mario
I don't
Kart.
think things that they gave away for free should count.
I would agree with that.
Right? Like Duck Hunt is on this list because they gave away 28 million copies of it when the Nintendo came out.
Duck Hunt was sweet, though.
It was awesome, no doubt. But like the big sports games, would you like to guess what sport is on the list?
FIFA.
Yeah, you're FIFA. It's FIFA 18. 26.4 million copies were sold, and that is the only sports game that made this list. 24 million is where the cutoff was for all of these releases. So
I could see this game getting a year from now, you're touching that.
Close to the 26 million.
And now they might.
It seems much more likely.
Now they might just absolutely blow my mind, and we have 30 million sales in the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That would surprise me, but it could happen. This game has developed like a cult following. I mean, they're putting out premieres of teaser trailers that are doing 1 million views on YouTube in an hour.
Well, I mean, think about you got to think back to the time of the early 2000s and the early 2010s when this game was coming out every year. You know, since it's been gone for a decade, some people may not remember the hype that went around the release of the game every year. And remember when they started doing all the regional covers? You had to, you could get your team's mascot on the cover. They had one that would have the hairy dog on it for the Georgia fans, and you'd have one that had Smokey on it for the Tennessee fans. And it was already one of the most popular games back then. And then that damn lawsuit took it away from us. I know why it happened.
I'm still not really sure that I do.
But I'm still angry. I'm still angry that we've had to live without it for all these years.
This is one of those. That was always one of those things of, okay, there was somebody that was angry about it. There might have been a handful of somebodies. I don't think it was that many somebodies.
Well, I mean, the athletes, obviously. Once the athletes figured out.
Never met
one.
one.
Wait, there is an argument here.
Never met one and know a lot of them. Never met not one that went, but they put me in the game. No, the first thing you did was play with yourself. Just exactly like with Caden Robinson.
That's right.
That was the first thing you did. The first thing you did was change your name to your actual name and go, that's me.
Yep.
I hated that lawsuit. That was one of the first things we ever talked about when we did this show, was how unbelievably stupid that was. And it's still stupid.
I agree to disagree. You can't keep using my image and likeness long after I've left school, can you? Supreme Court barely said no.
Well, yeah. I paid for your Scully, okay? All right, yeah, I do. And I can do it. I can sell videos of you anytime I want to.
Yeah.
This little fictitious video representation of you.
Story. Which was clearly him, though. That was the problem. Anyway, he's a pioneer. Don't you talk bad about him. Ed O'Bannon fought for the right, and he took our right to party away.
Yeah, I think the day that fell apart was the last year. I believe it was the last year of this game when I turned it on, and E.J. Manuel looked like a dead ringer for me. Nope. I think we're trying to stray away from that name, image, and likeness thing.
He's just trying anything you can not to make it look like the actual person that it's supposed to be. I am so glad we finally gotten to this moment, though, that we can come together, we can push aside all of the legalities, or at least agree to disagree on the legalities, and get this thing back where it belongs, and that's in the hands of every college football fan who can once again mark the start of the season a full month and a half earlier than it's actually supposed to start.
Look,
that's really what this is about.
We're at a very divided time in America. We're all looking for something to cling on to. We're divided. We got elephants and jackasses. We've got Democrats and Republicans. We're all looking for a common ground, and here is the common ground. You can all catch this smoke. You can all do it. I don't care who you're voting for. I don't care what your political party is. You're going to get these hands. It's going to be bad. You might cry, and I'm going to enjoy it thoroughly.
He gets so angry. He gets so competitive when he's talking about video games.
Tank, you're the only person I believe on this live stream right now that can attest to this. I get angry if you score on me.
He does.
I have no doubt that I'm going to beat you. Zero.
Yeah.
In my life, there have been two people that I ever doubted that going in. One of them actually listens to the show, Brent Contanola. Best Madden player I've ever played against. I get angry if you put points on the board. For me, it is a loss if you scored.
He was upset. He was very upset that it was only, was a 24-point game between the two of us when we played that one time? And I went, you know what? I'm never going to be better than that.
Nope. Ended on a high note.
I ended on a high note. Like, I picked him off like 6 times in that game, and I felt like, you know what? I held my own. I'm good. We're going to – but we'll all find out in 2 weeks because we'll be live streaming some college football 25 action from Mullet Manor.
Oh, yeah. Now you're opening up the option to me. This is not
not
be
right.
good.
Not right here if you're listening to the radio on the YouTube stream, because there will be a lot of cussing. Because should I happen to score, he's going to be very, very upset. College football 25 coming your way in just 2 weeks. Today, the Dynasty teaser trailer came out, just stoking the fire for the game's return. Speaking of returns, when we return from the break, it's an interesting little wrinkle that I hadn't really thought about in the lead up to this fantasy football season. Rules are changing in the NFL, and that means maybe your draft strategy should change a little bit as you're going into this year's competitions, because your league rules may be very well changing with the rules in the NFL. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
This is your extra.
All right, we're clear.
Weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to push that sunshine across the sky. And for Tuesday, low 80s and sunny for early July. Not bad. Tonight, mainly clear and 60 degrees. 50s in our cooler spots. Yeah, definitely seen the AC get a break on that. 88 Wednesday and sunny. Independence Day, the 4th. On Thursday, isolated storms up near 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey DQ fans, behold the DQ freezer. Not just an ordinary freezer, but an extraordinary freezer, holding all of the DQ Blizzard treat flavors of the past. Now it's opening its doors for the salted caramel truffle Blizzard treat, only at participating DQ locations.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st, streaming live only on Hulu.
A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com. That's AXS.com.
Capital One is the proud presenting partner of the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. In Asheville and in Greenville, call for a free consultation now. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back at the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And Jeremy, one of the greatest pastimes of American culture is coming up in just 2 days.
Getting drunk, setting off fireworks.
Oh, of course. I mean, we're going to be doing that. But you also will take the time maybe to, go in the house, take a break from the sunshine, and watch the grossest tradition of all time, which is the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. We all know the sad, sad news that because of a contract dispute and a sponsorship dispute, there will be no Joey Chestnut this year.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Look, I was just going around and trying to figure out, what are the wagers of the weekend on the old DraftKings Sportsbook app. And when I saw the category hot dog, I thought, oh, well, here we go. So right now, Jeremy, you can get Jeffrey Esper at -120 to win the hot dog eating contest. There's a guy named James Webb who's +200, and then Nick Wary at +550. No one's coming close to Joey Chestnut, but all three of these eaters are very close to each other in their development and hot dog numbers. Look, nobody's getting to 76, and nobody's probably going to touch the 68 that he did last year. Talking about Joey Chestnut. But I guess the new number's at like 55. Does it take the luster off the event, knowing that nobody's going to come close to a record?
I didn't know there was luster to the event.
Oh, come on.
I haven't watched this thing in
Have you
forever.
Not? Really?
I don't care.
Not even just a second. Just to go, damn, we're still gross.
To watch slovenly people just cram down 74 hot dogs. Yeah, I'm good.
Nah, see, that's the thing about it, though. The thing to me about it is they're not anymore. Like, back in the early days of the contest, sure, there were big old biggins. Remember guys like Badlands Booker and Ed Cookie Jarvis. Those dudes weighed in at $5 easy.
Anybody
now
shocked?
You got like these little fit dudes. Joey Chestnut is not a fat person.
No, I didn't say fat. I said slovenly. There's a difference. Anybody else shocked that Tank knows the nicknames of competitive eaters? How many competitive eater jerseys do you have, Tank?
They didn't have jerseys back then. In the early days of the eating competition.
If they had them, you would own one.
Oh, I would definitely have one. I'd have had a Weapon X jersey.
This is my Badlands Booker jersey. Who's he play for? He eats 88 cookies at a time.
Yes.
My story is about my beloved New York Jets. They have undergone a logo change. Went back to the logo that they should have kept the entire time, which was the old school 80s Jets word mark with the little streak over it. I do not fully understand why they're selling merchandise with just that little streak. Have you seen that?
No.
So I think it was Joe Douglas at the draft was wearing a pin that just had the Jetstream stripe that goes over the word mark. It's that by itself in a green circle. I kind of like it. I don't know why I like it because it is the most, but literally you drew a line in Microsoft Paint, threw a circle around it, and I like it for some reason.
And it has the little jet at the end of the stream, right?
Well, it tapers.
Yeah.
It's basically just a glorified triangle for all intents and purposes.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, now the New York Jets have been sued for this logo by Jim Pons. If you're a Jet fan, you probably know that name because he's been claiming that he created this logo for 50 years. Well, now he has filed suit in federal court saying that the Jets cannot profit off this without his consent or that word, compensation. Who's shocked that this guy who has basically been almost like a cartoon for 50 years saying, yeah, I made it, did documentaries, all the different things. Now, 50 years later, you expect compensation saying that this was done outside of the scope of your job. He was the team's film and video director in the 70s.
Yeah. See, I wasn't the logo maker. I was the film guy. I should be compensated for that.
Well, and that's all well and good. Why did it take you this long to file the suit? Let me guess. Because you're broke. Am I getting close?
No doubt.
Am I getting close? The funniest part of this is he was in the video that they put out when they released the logo.
Mm-hmm.
And he was happy as a little clam to say, yeah, I'm the one that made it. And now you're unhappy.
No, I'm just looking for mine. Because what else? Because all those other people that I worked with, what did they contribute? Right? They're not still using any of their work. Give me a little something extra on the side.
Yeah, this is where I would get creative as a federal court judge. Not only am I throwing out your claim as baseless, I'm now going to make you watch every Jet preseason game for the rest of your life. And that's coming from a guy that will be seeing the Jets in the preseason against the hometown Carolina Panthers in mid-August.
I was going to say, well, the best part about it is he's 81 years old and he ain't got many years left. So
Hey,
it'll be a short punishment.
The fact that he was able to file a lawsuit means he's in better shape than another 80-year-old that I'm pretty well aware of right now.
As we prepare for the fantasy football season, obviously one of the rules of playing in a fantasy football league is to make sure that you know what? The scoring system, correct? Correct. You don't ever want to end up going into a draft and not knowing that, hey, this is a tight end premium league where you get an extra point per reception every time your tight end makes a catch.
BT Dubs play in tight end premium leagues. They're awesome.
Points per carry leagues, also increasingly more popular. It can range from a quarter of a point per carry. I've seen full point per carry leagues,
full point per
crazy.
carry is stupid time. That's where
dumb.
Every player, the first 6 rounds should be nothing but running backs.
Yes. But also you're going to find that in those leagues, it's also premium everything else.
Yes.
Wide receiver premium is a little more rare, I believe. I haven't played in too many of those.
Oh, I played in a league that depth of target came in.
Really?
So guys that caught screen passes got nothing. If you caught it inside of 5 yards, you got half a point. Anything over 25 yards was 3 points.
That's intriguing.
You name any kind of scoring system, I've probably played in it.
Yeah. Well, look, the only reason I bring this up is because, well, I got my invitation to play in the satellite tournaments for the Scott Fish Bowl, which Jeremy will be participating in the live Charlotte draft on July the 13th, which will be our first little stop on the Living the Dream tour at Cabarrus Brewing down in Charlotte. But I just signed up for mine and claimed my little spot, opened up the scoring system here. And not only is it a tight end premium, but it's also a wide receiver premium, which is a half a reception bonus. But then I noticed that something new has been added that I had noticed much before in the past, and that's kick return points. With the new kick-off rules in the league, we're thinking that this is going to be more of an opportunity to score points. 1 point for every 5 yards that a return guy gets, 10 points for every special teams touchdown. Now, not every league is going to have this. Some leagues will. My question is, if you're in one of these kick return premium leagues, does it change the draft strategy at all because of the evolution of the rules?
Not a ton, because there's so few guys. I'll give you an example. I've got the depth charts pulled up here. I'm not drafting Jalen Reagor because he returns kicks for the Patriots. I don't think they're going to give up that many touchdowns. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Okay.
Now, where I could come down on this in a different way is somebody like Josh Downs. All right, Josh Downs is the kick returner for the Colts. Whether that continues or not, I don't know. They did draft a guy, Anthony Gold, that may take that over for him. If I found out definitively when the Colts put out their first official depth chart that Josh Downs was legit returning kicks, that would push him up probably a round. So it's not a big deal, but if I had a tiebreaker and I was down to I'm deciding between Marvin Mims and I'm trying to think of another receiver in that range. Oh, if I was trying to decide between Marvin Mims and Josh Palmer, that might sway me to Marvin Mims.
Okay.
That's about the depth of that. People have been doing this for years. Now, if it's extreme, which I will tell you, Scott Fish Bowl's extreme. I want to say it's a point for every, was it 5 yards?
Yes, it's a point every 5 yards.
Yeah, that's extreme because you're looking at basically, with the new rules, you're looking at basically 5 points per kickoff return. So in a situation like that, yeah, I'm all over Khalil Shakir.
Yep.
I'm all over Cordero Patterson, Kadarius Toney. I may even outright just draft Kevontae Turpin. because that's a pretty safe floor. I would like it to be a guy that also has other value, but it's not necessary. It's just that's so much further down the rabbit hole than most leagues will go.
Right.
In an average league, you're looking at like a point for every 25 yards. I'm good. It would be the tiebreaker, like I said, with Marvin Mims and Josh Palmer, but nothing more than that.
A couple of other names that you didn't mention. Rashid Shaheed has returned kicks for New Orleans.
He has. I don't know that he's going to. He's listed on the unofficial depth chart there. I look at their receiver room and go, I'm not so sure you're going to stick him back there.
Right.
If you do, then absolutely.
And that's kind of what I feel about Josh Downs.
Well, you don't think they'll put him back there?
Yeah, I don't know that they would risk the depth in the wide receiver room to do that.
I think that's the bigger story here. Is do you start seeing guys? I mean, we talked about this when it came out that Pittsburgh had floated the idea of having Justin Fields return kicks.
Right.
Do you start putting more talented players back there? Guys that are just really good with the ball in their hand. Velus Jones is the number one name I thought of when all of this changed.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's had a problem getting open. He doesn't have a problem once the ball is just in his hands. And right now he's the 5 for the Bears?
Yeah.
That dude's returning kicks, and I think he's good enough at it that might give him some standalone value.
It makes me think more about the handcuff down in Houston with Damian Pierce, because he's a pretty good kick returner. And God forbid, should something happen to Joe Mixon, I just feel like he would have some value early on in the season and then a guaranteed usage later in the season if something were to happen to Mixon.
I will tell you this, though. If something happened to Mixon, he wouldn't return kicks anymore.
Precisely. That's why I kind of amended that to say early in the season when Mixon is there, he'll have return value if you need him. But then to also have him as the handcuff.
Yeah, Damian Pierce for me is barely draftable without Joe Mixon. He's almost a must if you have him.
Mm-hmm. Still concerned about the history there, obviously.
What, with Damian Pierce?
With Mixon.
Oh.
And then Tyrone Tracy.
Oh, well, you should be drafting Tyrone Tracy anyway. Because the Giants have to play somebody. They have to play somebody at running back. And I cannot for the life of me believe it's going to be Devin Singletary.
No, but wait a minute. You were defending Devin Singletary last year. What happened now?
Because he was on a good team. And now he's on a crap team.
Now he goes to New York where, they struggle to block.
Yeah, Devin Singletary was lightning in a bottle. And, of course, the Giants did exactly what the Giants do and went, hey, look, he was good there. Yeah, but you forgot something. You're bad, and they're not. So.
As far as do you think differently about taking these kick return guys if you're in a best ball league? Because the opportunity to win a week is there.
It would be more intriguing to me with guys, like you said with Damian Pierce, guys that have a direct line to actual standalone value. They don't have it just coming into the year. But I could see me taking a flyer on Damian Pierce. I could see me bumping up Khalil Shakir. I could see me bumping up Naheem Hines or Xavier Gibson or Devin Duvernay. Guys that I could see you having that one kick return and maybe another game where you caught a big pass and maybe you were a nice safe floor in best ball. I'm not saying that I'm going to target these guys, but I could see a path where I get to late round flyer, and that's more palatable to me.
You mentioned putting other guys back there, playmakers back there.
Somebody's going to. The question is who. And if you figure that out and you're in a league like this, you're going to be really, really happy.
Mm-hmm.
And look, every time a rule changes, somebody tries to exploit it. you just have to get kind of cute with who that's going to be. And there's a great chance that you're not going to know that until the final depth charts come out after the preseason.
But are you saying that teams could possibly start taking, like, I don't know, other position players and put them back there?
I can tell you this definitively, and you can read the tea leaves on how I know this. The Detroit Lions took Sione Vaki with the sheer intention of making him a weapon. He's going to return some kicks. He's going to play some safety. He's going to play some running back. Don't be shocked if you see a lot more teams doing that next offseason. Because I have a weird feeling that that's going to be a position that we get to, like that hybrid corner safety role where just every team has one. A guy that's just a straight-up football player. He's good with the ball in his hands. He played defense either in high school or in college, and it's just a role on the roster. Vaki, to me, is the best example of that. And I said it the whole time that we're going through the draft process of, if the right team gets a hold of him. And I think they did with the Lions.
Yeah. Obviously, the thought that was floated out there that Justin Fields would be used to return some kicks, I believe that all died, right? Or he smacked that down pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah. Would I be shocked if he was put back there? No. I really wouldn't. As if for nothing else, it's going to draw your eyes. Look, the thing about kicks, the number one objective is sleight of hand. Because the way kick coverage works is you have to stay in your lane. And if one guy breaks contain, one guy breaks his lane assignment, that's where you wind up with a hole that you could drive the Parks Ford mobile studio through. And I could see a path they stick Justin Fields back there and dare you to kick it at him. Then everybody stared at Justin Fields, and you never know what happens. Maybe somebody gets lazy in their gap assignment. Maybe somebody gets lazy in their lane. Special teams coordinators, I don't know how many of these guys you know. We've had my buddy, Mike Westhoff, on this show.
Yep.
He's an eclectic guy. He is an interesting dude, and he has an interesting brain. And it really requires that to be a special teams coordinator because it is different than offense or defense. And so, yeah, there are opportunities for guys that we have never seen in the modern era, the most modern of eras.
And it's one of those things that I'll be interested to watch and see what the coaching strategy is. Like the different formations that you can try out of this, the different combinations and the scripted plays that you could come up with if you have guys like Justin Fields on your team.
You want me to give you one that really intrigues me?
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Will Shipley and Aeneas Smith.
Ooh.
I feel like Aeneas Smith was drafted specifically to be a kick returner. I know how that offense works. I don't really understand how you're going to take a guy that is, he's 5'8", and I think that's being generous. I don't see how you're going to generate those touches, but man, is he good with the ball in his hands. And the way to generate that is on kicks. You put him back there returning punch. You put him back there returning kickoffs. You drafted Will Shipley as well. You got the cast off of Isaiah Rodgers. They have a lot of guys that are really intriguing. So to me, that is one to watch. Red Sea asks, could the Giants put Neighbors back there? I think there will be a team that puts a high-level player back there. I don't think it will be the Giants. I've got a handful of thoughts, and no, one of them is not Tyreek Hill. You will see that occasionally. It won't be very often.
Well, he returns punts every now and then, doesn't he?
He does.
So I feel like this is also. This is going to really play into the punt return role. The traditional kickoff obviously is dead, and now this shortens up the field, gives the special teams coordinators an extra level of creativity in the return game. It's going to be fun to watch, but I just thought it was very interesting that that popped up first. One of the first fantasy leagues that I was in. Notice and take note that special teams points could be a thing with all of these rules changing for 2024. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll talk best weapons in the NFL up next.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000.
And we're clear.
Thank you.
Daily commute. And who knows how many?
There yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 100.
Back right at the top.
eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here's a tip from iHeartRadio Earth on how to save money and water this summer. One broken or missing piece in your in-ground sprinkler system can waste as much as 1,000 gallons of water per week. This summer, check for missing or broken sprinkler heads. Aim them away from driveways and sidewalks, and keep an eye out for puddles when it's dry, as they might indicate a leak. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
In 1944, Dodson Pest Control was founded with the goal of providing a full range of services to area families. The same goal still guides the company today, 80 years later.
Hello, this is Bonnie Dodson. My father, along with his brother, founded our company, and they offered a full range of services to area families. No matter what type of pest, Dad always wanted to help. We continue that level of commitment today.
Dodson Pest Control, 80 years of experience. Visit DodsonBROS.com.
Above and beyond. That's what defines our commitment to our customers at Parks Ford Hendersonville. As your hometown dealer, Parks Ford works hard for you to provide a one-of-a-kind buying experience through incredible service, honest communication, and trusted accountability. Stop by to experience the Parks Promise yourself, a promise to do better, to be better every day. We can't wait to meet you and help you find the right vehicle for you. Stop in and shop ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
Here's to the helpers. To the ones who grow up knowing that life is about more than finishing first. It's about finishing together. At Ingalls, we know that doing your part doesn't mean doing for yourself. It means doing what you can. Even though you might not seek the spotlight, we see you, and we're grateful. Ingalls. Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to push that sunshine across the sky, and for Tuesday, low 80s and sunny for early July, not bad. Tonight, mainly clear and 60 degrees, 50s in our cooler spots. Yeah, definitely seeing the AC get a break on that. 88 Wednesday and sunny. Independence Day, the 4th. On Thursday, isolated storms up near 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. If you have a gun, you have a responsibility to lock it up, to keep it safe every single time. Visit ncsafe.org to learn more. That's ncsafe.org.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In this week's Marketers Report,
This is the last
the value
one.
of local influencers in
Yeah, it's a minute.
Griffin,
10-4.
head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of a tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. See us live on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. You can see me live here in the Ingalls studio. Also, Jeremy, live at the Mulletless Manor. No longer does he have the glorious mane.
It is not mulletless. It's still back there. It's just a little harder to see now.
It's
just
mullet junior.
Just a little junior. It's just down to there. Look, it's hot. I'm fat.
Yeah,
it's July.
No doubt.
All right.
No doubt.
It's
you kept it way longer than you ever should have. We give you kudos for that. It was about time to tame that mane, and we're glad that you did. Everybody can check out the really, you can't really see anything about the new hairdo because he's wearing a hat.
Yeah, the hat's backwards. You can see that the beard is nice, and it makes my face look much slimmer.
Yep.
I got cheekbones. I don't remember ever having cheekbones. That's new.
I mean, we were all starting to worry about you because you were looking pretty haggard there, just locked away in the man cave of solitude, and it's been a long summer.
Well, I was using it to screw with people. I'd go out in public and go, RMK Jr. is the future. And people just, they reacted differently to it. It amused me.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, into the second hour of the program here on a Tuesday. It is a shortened holiday week, our final program of the week for you here on ESPN Asheville. Daily draft coming up at the top of the third hour of the program. We will be continuing our dreaming 2 weeks from today, the release of the college football game. Best teams to start your dynasty with in the new college football 25 game will be the daily draft today. But we'll focus on team previews for the rest of that time that we are with you. And I wanted to focus today on 4 of the teams in the NFL that have the best sets of weapons. Locked and loaded, just ready for bear. Let's start with the Miami Dolphins, because that's a team that I threw some shade at yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've never felt like Miami was that team that was an actual threat to win a Super Bowl. Even going back to the Dan Marino days, I had just been conditioned that this is a team that will win you 10, 12 games in a regular season on a good year. Had quite a stretch where they did it several years, but always get into the playoffs and never win a game. Never could actually make that playoff threat. And it's something that Mike McDaniel is trying to fight against right now, because that has been the legacy of this team since the 1970s. Their last playoff push came, when was that, 83? That was the rookie year of Dan Marino, or is that 86? Am I getting my years mixed up?
Marino was in 84.
84. There you go. They made the Super Bowl run that one year and then never got back there again. But this team...
No, you're right. It was 83. As soon as I said that, that doesn't sound right.
Okay, I thought I was getting that right. But the Miami Dolphins are a team that seems to be talented enough to win a Super Bowl. And if it was just up to the skill positions, if we were running 7-on-7s here, they might have a good shot at it. What will hold them back?
Look, I think this roster is pretty good. I don't love the offensive line. I never have. And you can give me all the pieces that I don't care. This line is weaker than it was. That worries me because of how the offense runs and how predicated it is on the run. I feel like Mike McDaniel is going to really commit to that. And I actually like the defense a lot. The thing that's going to hold you back is your quarterback. And I don't think that's even really debatable at this point. I mean, do you have a better answer than that?
I want to have a better answer because I've always felt like, Tua got the same kind of treatment that Bryce has gotten. I get that the starts were completely different and it's not been near as bad, but all of the talk seems to be very similar in the first years of his career. Like, this guy's a bust. He can't do it. He can't stay healthy, blah, 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 blah. The excuses are different, but it's pretty much to me, it's pretty much the same story. You're hoping that 3 years from now, or 2 years from now, Bryce Young will be what Tua is now for the Miami Dolphins. That's a high hope for the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion.
I don't think that's a high hope.
Really?
I don't. I feel like we, as a football society, we get narratives stuck in our head. And even if they're patently untrue, they stick. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Define Tua Tagovailoa as 2023 for me. Like, explain it in a sentence or two. Like I just landed on Earth and have absolutely no idea who he is.
He's a quarterback that put up a whole lot of big stats. His team won some games, but maybe in the biggest moments he didn't live up to it.
That's fair enough, but you left out the from the middle part of the year on, he was absolutely god-awful more than he was even serviceably good.
Okay.
All right, they played in the Frankfurt game against Kansas City. He was mediocre in that game. They come back from the bye. He was bad against the Raiders. He was bad against the Jets. Yes, they beat the Heber-Jeebers out of the Jets on Black Friday. That had way more to do with how inept the Jets' offense was than it had anything to do with Tua. He had one game with over a 75 QBR. It was against the Washington Commanders, who could not stop a nosebleed with a roll of paper towels. I could make the argument he was the reason they lost to the Tennessee Titans. He was fine against the Jets and the Cowboys. Terrible against Baltimore. Fine-ish against Buffalo. And absolutely putrid against Kansas City in the playoffs. There's no disputing what I just said. Everything I just said to you is a straight-up stone-cold fact.
Yep.
But here's what we remember. They scored 70 points on the Broncos. They scored over 30 points, 5 of the first 8 games? They were on a pace to break every NFL record in terms of scoring, and they made the playoffs. The problem is that there was no growth. And this is an infallible fact of Tua Tagovailoa, the more tape teams get on him in an offense, the worse off he is. Happened at Alabama. It's happened at Miami. Now, twice. I don't think he's that good. I never have thought he was that good. I said this when he came out in the draft. I had Justin Herbert ahead of him. You thought I was out of my mind. It wasn't that I believe that much in Justin Herbert. It's that I don't like Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
He's a smaller guy, and I just don't see anything special about him. Now, here's where that becomes a problem. Have you really looked at that schedule? Like, really zeroed in on that schedule?
It's pretty easy to start with.
It's really easy the first 8 weeks. Did you notice anything about the back half?
It's not fun.
It's not fun.
No, your last 6 games, I guess week 13 on, is not going to be fun.
From week 8 on, name me the bad defense they play. I'll wait. Buffalo,
Okay.
L.A. Rams,
Yeah.
those are both on the road. Vegas, New England, Green Bay, the Jets twice, Houston, San Francisco, Cleveland. Name me a bad defense in that.
There's not a bad one.
That's the problem. That's the problem, and we saw this last year with Miami. When they play good defenses that can keep you from just marching up and down the field. And before you give me the Jets, just understand, Miami played them twice last year with no quarterback. One of them was the god-awful Tim Boyle game, and the other one, I believe, was Trevor Siemian. They couldn't move the ball. Miami scored in those 2 games, scored a combined 64 points. I believe they had 2 drives that went more than 50 yards. That's damning.
Yeah.
And just look at who they lost to. Buffalo, Philadelphia, before they crashed into the ocean. Kansas City twice. Tennessee, Baltimore, Buffalo. You see a commonality in those teams?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were all pretty good defensively.
They'll punch you in the mouth.
Weird. You could beat a listless Jet team that had no offense. You could beat a listless New England team that had no offense. You beat the brains out of Denver. You beat the Giants. You beat the Panthers. Oh, you beat bad teams. I hate to break this to you. You don't play any bad teams. Even the quote-unquote bad teams, if we're talking about how easy their schedule starts out, they could all be dangerous.
Yep.
Jacksonville could be dangerous. Buffalo could be better than we think. Seattle in Seattle is going to be no picnic whatsoever. Tennessee is vastly improved. New England actually has a competent offense now. I think that's about as nice as I can be about that. Indianapolis is not going to be great. And Arizona's more talented than people think. I like Miami. I just wish you were playing that schedule you played last year instead of the one you get this year.
Yeah. The end of the season concerns are pretty interesting because last year they lost 4 of the last 6, including the playoff game against Kansas City. The year before that, remember, they were rolling. And then they lost their last 4 games of the season. Just, is it that by the end of the season, everybody kind of catches on to this year's mojo, and so the game plan becomes simpler for opponents at the end of the season when they're going up against Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa?
I've always said it's easier than that. It's much simpler to understand than that. The worst you saw them look last year, the 2 games last year where you went, what in the world was that, was against who? It was at Kansas City in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It was at Baltimore in Week 17. That's when they got beat 56-19.
Oh, yeah.
What those 2 have in common? It was cold. It was cold. The field was hard. Everybody slows down. Tua Tagovailoa is not used to the cold. He's from Hawaii. He played at Alabama, and then he went to Miami. Oh, great. You're awesome in September. Sweet. He was less effective every single month of the year. What happens every month of the year? It gets colder. Look at now take what I just said and look at the end of that schedule again. At Green Bay. This is from Thanksgiving on. At Green Bay, New York and Miami, at Houston, San Francisco, at Cleveland, at the Jets. That's 3 of the coldest places you can play in the NFL, and that's 3 of your last 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, every one of those cold weather games is late. The Green Bay game is at night.
Oh.
The Cleveland game is at night. The Jet game will most likely be at night.
No doubt about it. That'll be probably a division deciding game.
I think it very well could. And now I've said all of these bad things, and now I'm going to say the nice things. I absolutely love your defensive coordinator. I absolutely love what you added to the defense. I think the defense is going to be drastically better. So maybe you don't have to track meat teams. I'm not sure you have a choice. I'm not sure with this offensive line, with Raheem Mostert, and basically you've steered into nothing but speed, I'm not sure you can grind teams out. It's been my problem with this build the whole time. Awesome. Miami got more speed. Sweet. That's the one thing they didn't need. You draft Jalen Wright. All he does is outrun you. That's it. He's fast. Awesome. You got fast. When we get into a cold game in December and you've got a defense that's doing their part, can the offense do it? I got a lot of evidence here that says that they can't. And you don't seem to be learning from it.
Well, just more speed, right? More speed is all it's going to take to push us over the hump. I mean, this will be the prove it year of continuing to do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. Maybe this is the make it or break it year where they realize that, hey, maybe we do have to guard ourselves, or maybe gird ourselves a little bit more for the colder temperatures when they come up later on in the season.
There's a comparison. There's a comparison in our YouTube comments that I want to touch on before we get a break.
Okay.
And I thought about it. I've been reading it for a couple minutes now, just looking at it going, can I poke a hole in this? And I've yet to find one. Kevin the PRF said, so many teams in history are loaded at skill positions, and they suck in the trenches. And so come playoff time, they fold. And his examples were the 80s Dolphins, the current Dolphins, the early 90s Oilers, the early 90s Falcons, the late 90s Vikings, and the early 2000s Chargers. Or I think it's supposed to be the late 2000s Chargers with Phillip Rivers and LaDainian Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
I think every one of those comparisons is apt. All of them. The best offense I have ever physically seen was the 98 Vikings. It's the best I've ever seen. They had home field advantage and still choked in the playoffs. I think that's something to think about if you're a Dolphin fan.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll continue after this in the Sportsocracy.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing...
And we're clear.
Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine, cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. In Asheville and in Greenville, call for a free consultation now. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
iHeartRadio is the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. It's the only way to listen to exclusive NBC play-by-play action of Team USA, plus NBC's top Olympic moments, original Summer Games podcasts, and live hourly updates from the games in Paris on the iHeart app and right here on this station. Be sure you have the free iHeart app, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
iHeartRadio. Above and beyond. That's what defines our commitment to our customers at Parks Ford Hendersonville. As your hometown dealer, Parks Ford works hard for you to provide a one-of-a-kind buying experience through incredible service, honest communication, and trusted accountability. Stop by to experience the Parks Promise yourself, a promise to do better, to be better every day. We can't wait to meet you and help you find the right vehicle for you. Stop in and shop ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Here's to the helpers. To the ones who grow up knowing that life is about more than finishing first. It's about finishing together. At Ingalls, we know that doing your part doesn't mean doing for yourself. It means doing what you can. Even though you might not seek the spotlight, we see you, and we're grateful. Ingalls. Low prices, love the savings.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. You got to remember to cut on my own mic. That does come in handy.
Yeah, if anybody could have seen that little face you made of, I'm talking, but nothing's happening, and I figured it out after the third word.
Sometimes that's how it happens when you've already checked out for a vacation.
You still got another day, too.
Nah, I just got it. I basically can sleepwalk through the morning show anyway, so
I'm sure Mark Starling really appreciates hearing that. You said that during his nap time, didn't you?
Do what?
I said you said that during his nap time, didn't you? You know he's taking a night-night right now, so you can say whatever you want.
No. I mean, sometimes the secret of morning radio is just being able to get through the motions, because at 5 o'clock in the morning, it's hard to be up and functional and bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready and witting and all of those things. It's hard to do that early in the morning. So, once but the good part about it is you get up for that and the day's done by 9 o'clock. And then you got all day to go hang out by the pool and disgust your neighbors. Sorry,
yes.
that was just a personal story. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm sure your neighbors love that your favorite place in the entire neighborhood is a place that you spend the vast majority of your time with your shirt off.
No doubt. Every year, I wait for them to post in the community Facebook page of, "Hey, the pool's opening on this date," and I always send back in response the same meme, which is just a seal running down, like blobbing down the boardwalk, because I'm on my way. Here I come. Y'all better be prepared. Because you know what? I'm not one of those bashful fat people that swims with my shirt on. I'm just not doing it.
Yeah, speaking of that, we should probably have it. It's probably a good time for an intervention of, but you should, though.
Nope, not going to do it. Not gonna do it. I won't hide myself from you.
Tank with his shirt off looks like Dilbert and Dan Aykroyd from Coneheads had a love child, and it has no shame.
No, that was you got the wrong the wrong characters there. I got. Do you remember the movie Nothing But Trouble?
You know I don't.
Oh, that was a 1980s classic. Had the Bobo and Lil Devil, the twins that lived in the junkyard. That's pretty much what Tank looks like. It's like a giant melted candle when you're sitting around the pool.
Like a combination of Kirby and Undercover Baby.
Indeed. You better bring your sunglasses and just look away. You won't be able to look directly at it. That is for sure.
Like Fievel and a gremlin had a love child. I can keep doing this.
The sheen coming off that body is just something special.
Yep, and you made it weird. There you go. Thanks, Tank. You made it weird. And now I have to go have a reversal of fortune because I'm repulsed by everything you just said.
Oh, one of your favorite football players got in trouble, Jeremy. Heisman Trophy front runner, or one of them anyway. Ollie Gordon got busted for a DUI. Oklahoma State's star running back who put up some amazing numbers last year, leading the nation, 1,732 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns, and won the Doak Walker Award. He got caught with he had an open bottle of vodka and an open bottle of tequila in the car.
Shoo, you should never mix those two things together.
Yeah. He apparently was driving 17 miles per hour over the posted 65 mile per hour speed limit, swerving in and out of lanes. When the trooper pulled him over, they sensed the odor of alcohol, and then when they did the search, they found the 2 bottles. He refused to take a sobriety test. He was arrested. Also got charged with open container. Ended up doing the test at the Cleveland County Jail, and had a blood alcohol level of between 0.11 and 0.10. So that's not good for Ollie. Obviously, not the way any budding star should be spending their time drinking and driving. But
I'm officially to a point of I don't understand how. It is so easy to just call an Uber. It has never been easier to drink in public than it is right now. And it's pretty expensive. So if you're doing that, how do you not have the... I don't understand that.
Yeah. It's harder to understand as well in largely populated areas. I feel like it can't be hard to find an Uber in Oklahoma City.
No.
Because this isn't like he was out in just, random place on the panhandle of Oklahoma, right out in the middle of a field somewhere. He was in Oklahoma City. So, anyhow.
I've also got a little small story here. Did you happen to see the Hornets Summer League roster?
I saw Drew Pember was on it.
Drew Pember is on it.
Of the
UNCA's
Bulldogs.
2-time Big South Player of the Year, Drew Pember.
Yep.
Leaky Black from Carolina.
All right.
And
he's been up and down with Greensboro.
And big UT Chattanooga center Jake Stevens that we saw at the Ingles Southern Conference Basketball Championship at least twice, and I think we saw him 9 times. I'm just not sure of it.
Jake Stevens. Was he the transfer from Citadel?
He was the gigantic feller with the head like a cinder block that really enjoyed shooting 25-footers.
Okay.
We talked about him a lot.
All right. None of those guys will be making the team.
No,
I mean, because you got to make room for
Josh
Josh Green. Do what?
I said we had a pretty good shot to see Drew playing for the Swarm.
Okay. Yeah.
I think he actually has a shot. I saw our buddy Chris Womack posted, how is Vontarius Woolbright not making a Summer League roster?
That is a good question.
It's really not.
Okay, please do tell.
His game fits so much better in Europe than it does in the NBA.
Okay.
What he does is, first of all, he's – how do I put this nicely? I want to make this sound like I'm not taking a dig because I'm really not. He plays in slow motion. The NBA doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
He is not a guy that I never at any point looked at him and went, that's an NBA player. I looked at him and went, that's a dude that's going to win 3 Euro Cups and probably 2 MVPs because it's a more patient, deliberate version of basketball than what the NBA is frantic.
Yeah.
European basketball's not.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons I'll go ahead and tell you, Team USA, this is not going to be as easy as you think it is.
Really?
It's not.
There's a little bit of a challenge there.
It might be.
Who's going to push us?
Oh, there are several.
Colby says France.
There are several contenders for that. There's several European teams that are pretty good. I think Canada would have been good if the entire team didn't opt out. They appointed Steve Nash as the head of the Canadian Basketball Federation, and every Canadian player went, pass.
Really?
No Andrew Wiggins, no Zach Edey.
What was the story behind that?
Edey is focusing on the season. I think he got drafted higher than he expected.
Well, no doubt.
And
I don't think anybody expected him to go that high.
Yeah, there were a few.
In the top 10?
Unfortunately, I called them morons. And they took a lot of joy in going, moron, eh? Wiggins is being held out by the Warriors because they don't want to risk him getting hurt playing in the Olympics and not being able to trade him.
Right.
There was another one. I can't remember who the other one was. Canada's roster looked so good until it didn't.
RJ Barrett?
RJ's playing.
Oh, okay.
RJ's playing, and there was another
That's
one
the only
that
other
I
one I
didn't
can
know was
think of.
Canadian. Oh, no, they got a lot of guys. And that's not a happenstance either. They have really put a focus on basketball. I think that's why I was so upset yesterday they beat us in under 20 football. No, they're getting closer in basketball, the Canadians. They have really put an emphasis on that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a national system that is really, really cohesive. But, unfortunately, their Olympic team not looking as daunting as it did about a month ago.
All right. Like I said, Colby says France is probably the one that pushes us the most.
France will be good. Serbia is going to be tough. Serbia has like 6 NBA dudes and Nikola Jokic.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's never. It hasn't been a given that we're going to win for years. Maybe. We've won it, what, 4 times in a row now? 3 times in a row? So I feel like it'd be worth watching. Maybe it will be a competition. Because, hell, in years past, it's not been worth watching. Like, oh, look, we won by 60 again. Yay. Yay, USA. You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville. When we come back from the break, it will be time to get weird, and we'll talk about another loaded skill position team in the NFL. We'll do the Philadelphia Eagles after the break.
This is your extra.
And we're clear.
Weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to push that sunshine across the sky, and for Tuesday, low 80s and sunny for early July. Not bad. Tonight, mainly clear and 60 degrees, 50s in our cooler spots. Yeah, definitely seeing the AC get a break on that. 88 Wednesday and sunny. Independence Day, the 4th. On Thursday, isolated storms up near 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by KFC.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's. Right now, get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/20. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land, where you can do things like clean your gutters, pay tolls, and even get the wrong thing you ordered. We got it all. Potholes, people talking at the movies, and don't forget about flat tires when it's raining. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, so customize your coverage with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. And relax, knowing you got the coverage you need. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
2 guys, 5 rings. Yes. One essential podcast for the 2024 Paris Olympics. Bowen Yang and Matt Rogers host a new podcast that's all about the athletes.
You gotta get your head in the game, as Zac Efron once said.
And the culture.
Not French.
Well,
I have no association with the nation of France. But you did live in Montreal.
Of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Listen to 2 Guys, 5 Rings on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app. Search 2 Guys, 5 Rings and start listening.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Above and beyond, that's what defines our commitment to our customers at Parks Ford Hendersonville. As your hometown dealer, Parks Ford works hard for you to provide a one-of-a-kind buying experience through incredible service, honest communication, and trusted accountability. Stop by to experience the Parks Promise yourself, a promise to do better, to be better every day. We can't wait to meet you and help you find the right vehicle for you. Stop in and shop parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy, I almost used the breaking news for the intro on this one because, I mean, this is the time to act right now. The alert has gone out from the U.S. Postal Service that if you want to be able to lock in the price on your forever stamps, you need to act right now. It's going up to 73 cents next week.
Stamps are 73 cents?
Yeah, right now. So right now you can get them at 68 cents, but on so not next week. So week after next, July 14th. That is when they are going to go up by 7% to 73 cents. For those of you who still use stamps,
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
When was the last time that you actually mailed an envelope?
Ooh, I think it's been a long time. I honestly can't tell you when the last time
I know exactly when mine was. And I worked at the post office for a while. First of all, be nice to your mail carrier. A, they know things about you. B, they're overworked. C, nobody appreciates them. Be nice to your mail guy or girl. Mine was when I sent off it was a window rebate when I bought my first house.
Oh.
I sold that house 7 years ago.
Now that's a long time.
It has been.
It's definitely been sooner than 7 years since I've mailed a letter.
It has been almost 15 years since I mailed a letter.
Oh my God.
I don't really understand how is the Postal Service still in business. I don't get it.
Junk mail.
Dude, as somebody that worked in that business, I'll just go ahead and tell you, they don't make nearly enough off junk mail to still be in business.
Really?
No. You can send out flyers for like 9 cents a piece. Do the math on that. Also, go to a post office and look around at how many carriers are working at any given time.
I would love to see a breakdown on that, where the revenue comes in.
Genuinely don't know. Amazon was the bulk of it when I left.
That's the problem, is that it's just not really there. There's not a huge demand for that these days. I don't see how they stay in business with the advent of Amazon coming on and doing their own shipping thing, and plus you had all of the other services that you've had to contend with forever with UPS and FedEx and all those. It's crazy.
You also have a union that basically goes, "Hey, if you don't want to work, don't."
Mm-hmm.
Dealt with that for a lot of years. One of the reasons that I left. My story is about Michelle Roll, and I found this story to be so ironic after a rabbit hole we went down yesterday. She just finished third, took bronze medal in the 20-kilometer race walk in Springfield, Oregon.
Speed walking, okay.
The speed walk. We talked about this yesterday. Chris Womack dated a Team USA speed walker's daughter. Michelle Roll may very well have been that woman because she's 58 years old. She was on Team USA in 1992, 1996, and 2000. She has 5 kids. That's why she stopped speed walking, was to raise her children. And 3 months ago, welcomed her first grandchild.
Nice.
This wasn't a senior race. She's 58.
Actual
she took
Olympic
bronze.
qualifier?
Yes, it was at the U.S. Olympic team trials. She's 58. I'm just going to keep saying that until it locks in.
So does third place get her in?
She
or did
said
you have to
she
finish
is,
top 2?
None of the top 3 finishers hit the Olympic standard time. First was Robin Stevens, who's 41. Miranda Melville, 35, finished second. She is likely not headed to the Paris Olympics.
Nice.
But I did see that story and immediately went,
yeah.
Was that did Chris Womack date your daughter? Because
a
if so,
58-year-old woman winning the bronze medal there. What country was that?
That was in the U.S. That was in Springfield,
Oregon.
was
America. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Nice. Very nice.
She walked 20 kilometers in 1 minute, or 1 hour and 42 minutes. 17 seconds.
That's impressive.
I don't know what a kilometer is, so is it really impressive? Or did she walk to the mailbox and it took her an hour 42 minutes?
Yeah, no. 20 kilometers is, that's pretty far. A kilometer is just short. It's shorter than a mile, but I don't know how to explain it beyond that. It's a pretty decent distance, I'll tell you that.
And yes, before anybody says it to me, I understand that the metric system makes more sense. I get it. I'm the dirty American that learned standard, and I don't know what the others are.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So the 58-year-old will not be going to the Olympics.
No.
However, there is a 50-year-old that's going to be going to the Olympics.
Sweet.
Britain is sending a 50-year-old man named Andy McDonald who has qualified for one of their spots and will be, let me check this, make sure. Yes, and will be one of the first skateboarders to represent Britain in the Olympics.
Wait a minute. Whoa. You buried the lead.
Skateboarder.
So Tony Hawk's brother here is representing Britain in skateboarding. Yes. First of all, I was today years old and I found out there was skateboarding in the Olympics. I did not know that was a thing.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Yes, that is a thing.
How do they decide Olympic sports?
Olympics.
Like, is there a committee that decides that? Well, you can't have baseball because that's not enough of a sport, but we'll give you skateboarding and speed walking.
The International Olympic Committee. Yeah, they get together every year, and every few years or whatever. Ugh. They have like a little symposium out in the woods somewhere, and they all sing Kumbaya and drink wine and talk about what kind of sports could we put in this year.
and how they're smarter
we're kicking
than
out
everyone.
baseball because nobody watches it. Yeah, we're kicking out baseball because nobody watches it. Hey, you know what we should do? We should have speed walking.
Hey, you know what we should do? Let's bring
more
back
people
that
will watch
sport
the speed walking.
Let's bring back that sport where people wear snowshoes and shoot pigeons. Let's do that. That's a real athlete right there.
He really hates that event for some reason.
I do.
Like, as much as he hates birds, I figure like he would like that.
Because it's fixed.
Murdering birds as part of the Olympics should be. What do you mean it's fixed?
It's fixed. They're government drones. The ones who's supposed to win, the bird goes down. The bird takes a dive. It's corruption at the highest level.
This is the same kid who probably said that duck hunt was cheating.
Oh, no, I would.
That dog's cheating. He got in my way.
Now, ironically enough, my dad always swore I was cheating at duck hunt. I was cheating
because you were sitting 2 feet away from the screen, just holding it up against the screen, pulling the trigger.
Now, the funny thing is that I was cheating at Street Fighter, and it took him a long time to figure that out. Hey, how do you block?
Wait, how are you
I
cheating
don't
at
know.
Street Fighter?
I don't want to. I don't know. But you're doing it. I'm just hitting buttons.
No, I just don't know. And he never figured out that B blocked.
He also never understood that I played with Dalsim, who meant I could punch you from across the screen.
Oh, the guy with the extendy arms?
Yes.
Yeah.
He always wanted to be Ryu. I'm like, yeah, Ryu's on the cover, but Ryu sucks. I mean, he can go, Ayukin. That's it. That's all he's got.
Yep.
And you don't know how to make him go, Ayukin. So he's really just a dude in a unitard that's getting his brains beat out.
And I will squash you with E Honda, who takes up half of the screen.
Or M Bison,
figure out
who can fly.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was such a good game.
It was a good game. Terrible movie. Good game. That's a movie I've seen.
Well, you know, which is gross.
Street Fighter, yes.
That was
Godfather,
terrible.
no.
He's hitting the classics. In 2024, the Philadelphia Eagles, once again, front office, there's no problem. Every time we talk about Philadelphia, I never have a problem with the front office or the roster build or anything. It always comes back to one of two things. It's either the coaching or it's whether or not the step back that Jalen Hurts took last year is going to continue this year. Because if you just look at their weapons, there should be very few excuses for this team. The addition of Saquon Barkley stepped it up a notch for me. The best running back that they've had, and I feel like there are so many opportunities for big plays with Saquon in the mix, with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert at the tight end position. The offense is not a big problem for me outside of what we're going to get out of Jalen Hurts. Flostradamus.
I mean, I heard no lies. Look, last year Jalen Hurts showed some deficiencies. He turned the ball over a gajillion times. But even with that, I'm not worried about it. I look up and down that roster and go, there is no reason this team shouldn't go 14-3. Look at the schedule. There's no reason they shouldn't go 14-3. Name me the team that they're going to lose to before they play the Bengals. All right, so they play the Packers in Brazil. Okay, I guess I could see a path that you lose that. I don't think you're going to, but I could see it. They then go Falcons, Saints, Buccaneers, Browns, Giants. That team should be 6-0.
They should be.
Because the Browns game is in Philadelphia.
I was going to say, Cleveland could get them. It won't be an easy game by any stretch.
So then you catch the Bengals. Let's say you lose that one. You're 6-1. They then go Jaguars, Cowboys, Commanders. That's 9-1.
Mm-hmm.
Rams, Ravens is not pretty. I get that. There's 9-3. And you close out Panthers, Steelers, Commanders, Cowboys, Giants. If you find me 6 losses on that schedule, you either hate the Philadelphia Eagles or you are completely out of your mind.
Or Nick Sirianni proves to be that dumb.
I think Nick Van Exel could coach this team to 11-6.
That was a great pull.
Wasn't it, though?
Good.
My brain works in a weird way.
Love it.
You want to know where I pulled that from?
Yeah, please.
He just put a shout out to Bronny James since he's the latest Laker to wear number 9.
Aha.
That was Nick Van Exel's number with the Lakers.
Okay.
That I remember.
I don't know why.
To hit the button underneath my garbage disposal to reset it, I forgot for 4 days.
You want to tell that story?
What? That I had to call maintenance twice to come fix my garbage disposal, which I had just not turned on.
It's truly one of those scenarios where the guy comes in and goes, "Hey, did you turn it on?"
Oh, and our maintenance guy he's from Milwaukee, or just outside of Milwaukee. Nicest guy literally on the planet. And I could tell that he was saying this as nicely as he could, but in the back of his head he was going, "What, are you stupid?"
Yeah.
It's
electronic,
stupid. You have to turn it on.
Yeah. That's like when TP Howard's came out to fix a leaky pipe at my house, and I just had the valve open all day. Like, I couldn't get it to stop. And he was like, "Well, you got to close the valve evenly. Like, you pushed it too far to the one side, it opens up. You push it too far to the other side, it opens back up again. You got to put it right in the middle." And I went, "You mean to tell me I've been sitting here babysitting this quote-unquote leaking pipe for 8 hours, and all I had to do was move that another, half an inch?" Yes.
Yep. All you had to do is turn it off.
Awesome.
By the way, and I have to say this. So that look that people that are mechanically inclined to give Tank and I, that is the same look that we give people sometimes when they tell me things like Reggie Wayne was better than Randy Moss. That's the same look I'm giving you. Like, are you stupid? Because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I didn't know. I thought if you pushed it all the way to one side, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Apparently water valves don't work that way.
Nope, they don't. And you know who would know that? The guy. That's why I called the guy. Because the guy could fix it.
I did. I called the guy, and I said, "I got a leaky pipe. I need y'all to come check it out. Meanwhile, I got to babysit this leak."
Don't you feel like you should have to go get a check from your mom to pay him when they tell you that?
Absolutely.
Like, my mom left me this check. She said I could sign it even because I'm her special boy.
That's stupid. Good thing is, I did actually have a broken pipe that he had to fix, so it wasn't a completely wasted trip of him coming out there, but the thing that made me sit there for 8 hours, that was completely my fault.
Yeah, our poor guy's, he's been to my house 4 times in the last 2 weeks for 3 things that were actually not broken. One of them was, the other 3 were not.
Mm-hmm. The question here about the Philadelphia Eagles, though, is Nick Sirianni broken as a coach?
Yes.
And will they be able to patch the leaks in his leadership style?
Well, Vic Fangio is going to fix the defense. Just straight up, you had the wrong coordinator in there last year. So the fact that your defense is now being handled completely outside of Nick Sirianni, that makes me think that the improvement from being one of the worst units in the NFL to, even if you just scratch the top 10, of which you're top 3 talented, then you're going to be fine.
That was the most inexplicable thing about this team last year, was how horrid that defense was, despite how talented it was and how talented it had been the previous year. They're one of the best in the league the previous year. Didn't really lose anything and ended up being terrible.
This is one of those times, and I'm going to answer something Rich Vitale said here about me always talking about how bad of a head coach Sirianni is. I think he is a bad head coach. I think he's in over his skis. Here's the problem. I don't think he can win for you at the highest level. I also think he would have to be the equivalent of me with a garbage disposal for you to not win this division and not make the playoffs, which means you're going to be stuck with him for a minute. Look, I like everything Philadelphia has done except their coaching hire and their quarterback, which is fine. I just don't love it, and I don't love the money. I don't think I ever will. I just don't know that Nick Sirianni. I can't get to a point where I can put Nick Sirianni Super Bowl champion in the same sentence. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, until it actually happens. And if it ever does happen, then, well, maybe we'll have to reevaluate our thoughts about old Nick Sirianni. I mean, this is only, what, year 3 of his head coaching career?
3
or 4?
3, yes. It's either 3 or 4.
Right. So it's got time to grow. It's got a lot of maturing to do. I will tell you that.
Oh, yeah, because after meeting him, buddy, that's a spicy meatball.
Yep.
This is year 4, by the way.
Okay, so this will be year 4. Plenty of time to grow, right? Or plenty of time to change. But it's going to have to happen while you're in this little championship window. Or else it was all for naught, and you'll be on the outside looking in.
Well, I mean, having Howie Roseman is a great way of keeping a championship window open for longer than it should be.
Yes. And as talented as this team is, I kind of feel the same way you do, Jeremy. An idiot would be able to take this team to a division championship and a 12-plus win season.
Rich Kotite would go 9-8 with Philadelphia Eagles. Adam Gase would go 7-10.
Well, Nick Sirianni is about to go 14-3 and lose in the first round of the playoffs. I hope for Eagle fans that's not how that goes, but I just had a feeling that that's kind of going to be how this goes as long as Nick Sirianni is the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is CSPN Asheville.
In this week's Marketers Report, Dana
Clear.
Vice President, Worldwide Marketing at Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on regional audio marketing and the movies.
Everything that we are doing is incredibly data-driven. We are getting signals in every single day about how specific audiences are performing. So although we're marketing at a very broad scale, and that does include specific local markets, that's really the beauty of iHeart's network. You're not serving the same message to a consumer in Nashville necessarily that you may be in New York. You have the ability to be very specific and very personalized, but at a tremendous scale.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local.
Back right at the top.
Conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. Don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
My name is Nathaniel Darnell, and this is my Ingalls story. Here at Darnell Farms, we think our fruits and vegetables are some of the best you're going to find. We've been working with Ingalls for years, and the support they give to family farms like ours is outstanding. Right here in the Great Smoky Mountains, next to the Tuckasegee River, we have the perfect place to grow our produce. If you want the best local quality, you cannot do better than Ingalls.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to push that sunshine across the sky. And for Tuesday, low 80s and sunny for early July. Not bad. Tonight, mainly clear and 60 degrees, 50s in our cooler spots. Yeah, definitely seeing the AC get a break on that. 88 Wednesday and sunny. Independence Day, the 4th. On Thursday, isolated storms up near 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's. Right now, get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/20. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Is arthritic joint pain keeping you from doing the things you love? Bone-on-bone pain in your knees, hips, back, or shoulder? There are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. QC Kinetics is helping patients like you every day. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. Cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief with no downtime. The local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative, restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. In Asheville and in Greenville, call for a free consultation now. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828.
Here we go.
9517.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel once you're through to YouTube, and that way you can join us in the chat each and every day. You can also join the House of Reprehensibles. You can super chat us as well. Make a little donation on the YouTubes to the effort here as we continue to roll through the off season, just waiting for football to start once again. We got a nice little teaser again today from the folks over at EA Sports. College Football 25 comes out in 2 weeks. The early release, July the 16th, 2 weeks from today. They went deep dive on the Dynasty today, describing all of the things that you were going to get to enjoy once again. The high school recruiting sections of the game, the transfer portal portion of the game has been added into it, the 12-team playoff, all those things, conference realignment, completely customizable conferences before you start your dynasty. The teaser has been released, and it's only sparked the fire. So today, in the daily draft, it's what teams you start in your dynasty with. Do you start at the top? Are you I have to play with Georgia, I have to play with Florida State, I have to play with my team that is already at the top? Do you like to pick the bottom feeders and take, Louisiana Tech all the way up to the championship in year number one? How do you how do you go about building the perfect dynasty experience?
So for me, I will always start as a coordinator because there are multiple different ways that you can start the dynasty. You can either start as a head coach, or you can go the coordinator route and you have less responsibilities, and then you get hired away to a head coaching job. I will always go that way.
I have never gone that way.
Well, you never you never could before. So actually, I think you could the last year.
But why? What's the benefit of doing that? Why would you just not start over a team?
Because it's more realistic.
Okay.
I'm all about the realism, Tank. Mm-hmm. Oh, we have our first super chat of the day, by the way.
Oh. It's from Red Sea. Says, fine, take my money. I think that's how we all feel about this game. Waiting
that's
on
100% how I feel about this. The first day it was available on the PlayStation Store, where you got it with Madden, and it came as soon as I found out you got it 3 days early. I went, cool, take my money. You can have it.
Did you get the Madden bundle as well?
Yes, I got it all.
I just don't know if it's worth the Madden bundle. Like, do I need to pay double to have Madden too?
Yes.
I mean, I got Madden last year. But I just got Madden last year.
Yeah, you're one of those guys that goes, oh, but I got last year. I'll just update the rosters. No.
Why not?
Because that's crap. It's not how that works.
Of course it is.
I don't think I've ever played a Madden game after the new one came out. And I own literally every version of Madden there's ever been.
It's so wasteful, though. There's no... I mean, I've never seen a need for that. You know me. I'm cheaper than oxygen anyway. I'm not spending $70 a year to play the same video game that I had last year.
Yep.
Because it never
built in the
changes.
budget for me.
But the game never changes. I mean, there may be little tiny intricacies from year to year, but for the most part, it's the same damn game. Why have to buy it every year? Especially when people update the rosters for you. Seems a little odd. But anyway, first up, you want first pick here?
No, go ahead.
Where you're starting your dynasty? I don't really ever have a strategy when I'm starting a dynasty. It just kind of, to me, it's just kind of how I feel that day. And I will pick out a random team at the bottom and just start there because I know within a year I'm going to take over as the head coach. With the first year, we're going to end up being conference champions of Conference USA or the AAC or whatever lower conference I decide, and then I'm getting the job that way. I'll get the offer from Clemson in year 2 or something like that. I used to or not always, but I used to start with with Tulane. That was one of my favorite teams, but now they're pretty good. So I feel like I'm in. If I wanted to start one now, I'd be in pretty good shape because they're already going to be a top 25 team. And so I love those blue uniforms.
So you're starting with Tulane.
I'm starting with Tulane.
Man, you and I have very different ideas of how this is done.
Okay. Explain.
So for me, there are a handful of things that go into it. And it's honestly, your uniforms are pretty high. Because that's the one thing I really can't change. Even if your stadium's not in the toughest places to play or anything like that, I can get you there. I can't change your uniforms. Also look at geographic location and history, and so most of mine are more prestigious programs that have maybe fallen on hard time, daddy.
Okay.
My number one pick's Florida. Because Florida is B-A-double-D bad.
Yeah.
But, look, I'm a lifelong Florida State fan. Those uniforms are still sweet. The swamp is still sweet. You still walk in tapping the gator head. That's another thing. They're not going to add new cut scenes and things like that just because you got good all of a sudden. So if you're playing in some dumpy-ass stadium, you will continue to play in that stadium even when you're good. Which is why my number 2 is Tennessee. Because Tennessee's good, but they're not national title good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard to replicate Rocky Top and Smoky, and they're going to do the checkerboard print in the stadium. That's one of the coolest things to me is that they have factored all the things into the stadium. So now you have whiteout games and blackout games, and at Tennessee you will have the checkerboard in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that I'm not going to get tired of.
Not bad. I like it. Playing for the cutscenes. for the extra stuff, for the cool things, the little extras that they throw in there. I like that. It's not a bad thought. I mean, I guess since the game never really had that stuff before, I never thought about it. So maybe I would be more interested to, like play with Ohio State because you get the cool, band on the field with the spelling out Ohio and all the pageantry of that. I guess since I just skipped through all that stuff, I really don't care. To me, it's all about who's got the coolest uniforms and what's the wackiest path that I can take to a national championship.
You say things that make me very angry.
Why?
That you're going to skip through all of the cutscenes. I won't skip through anything for the first month that I have this game. I will play at every team's stadium. I will play against every team. If I'm allowed to change my non-conference schedule, you rest assured there will be no rivalries because I'm playing everybody that I can.
Mm-hmm. Okay. My second selection here is going to be Appalachian State. I mean, you've never been able to play with them before. Have you? Was there a time where they ever put FBS teams in? I don't think they did.
I don't remember.
I don't think we ever had access to Appalachian State before. I know for damn sure we never got to play in Kid Brewer Stadium. And that'll be the first one for me. One of the first ones.
I will certainly play at Appalachian. They're probably not going to like how that goes.
You just beat the snot out of them. I will probably start anywhere in the Sun Belt.
Really?
And that will be the path.
Oh, you rest assured I'm going to start as the offensive coordinator at Florida State.
Right.
My alma mater will be West Virginia. I will have worked at Florida State, and so I'll have the tie to both.
I was going to say, does that not feel a little cheaty, though? Like starting with a big program?
No, because then I'll take a smaller job as a head coach.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so you'll
probably
start like
one of the next two I'm going to take.
Okay. All right.
See, I don't consider if you go the offensive coordinator route, that's not, to me, that's not really where you're starting because you're the two there. It's what job do you take from there? Because you're going to be there for a minute. So I'll go ahead and tell you, if you go 12-0 as Florida State, wind up in the playoff, you're going to get offered every lower job you can think of.
I have put it off too long here. I am going to have to play as the Georgia Bulldogs. There will be there will be either a dynasty or a road to glory of something of the Georgia Bulldogs. Because I can only imagine what the atmosphere in Sanford Stadium is going to be like on the game. Very interested to see all of the do they have the black-chested fans in the front row that are at every game? That one fraternity that has all of the turnover pads and such. Do they put those guys in the game?
I would wager they're probably there.
I would hope so. I mean, if you're gonna, you're doing all of these things. I don't expect you to go through and get the, the guy who's got the bulldog painted on his bald head. That would be a great memorial to that guy because I think he passed away last season. But still, I want to know if the super fans are going to get a little nod in this as well. So Georgia will be my third selection.
My next two are schools that are they're a little down, but if you could take them back to glory, it would be a great deal of fun. And they have the same exact color scheme. It's Nebraska and Wisconsin. Because those are two stadiums that I promise you, if you're good, they're going to get up on that list of toughest places to play fast. I think Camp Randall's already at 7.
Yep.
And Nebraska, if you could get them back to national prominence of any form, that's probably the first job that I would take. So if I got offered a bunch of mid-tier, lower-level Power 5 jobs, Nebraska would be the one I was after.
Okay.
Because I go into the SEC and get my brains beat out if I don't have that coach prestige built all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that'll happen in Nebraska, too. Hey, maybe I'll put them in the Pac-12.
There's been another team that kind of fits into that same category you were just talking about. For me, that for some reason I want to gravitate back to trying to make Michigan State a thing in football again.
Good Lord, why?
I don't know.
Their football complex is named after their basketball coach. That should really tell you everything you need to know about their relevancy.
No, something about the Spartans that I always just I liked. I liked the uniforms. I liked the atmosphere in that stadium.
Why do you have taste that just is meant to piss me off?
I don't know.
Michigan State has probably the worst uniforms in college football.
And that is everything you need to know from the same guy who just said Florida has good uniforms.
Oh, Florida has great uniforms.
Terrible.
You also hate Florida, and as do I. I mean, look, Florida has to they have to spell the name of the mascot, because if they put a logo on it, they'll be like, "We're the Crocodiles."
Terrible. No two worse colors have ever been put together than blue and orange.
Oh, look, you're getting no argument out of me, but they are slick, and those throwbacks are phenomenal. Like, I think Florida State has great jerseys. In terms of throwbacks, we don't really have anything that competes with Florida.
No.
And I know they may cut me out of the booster club for that, but, I didn't tell any lies.
No. You got two good uniforms. Stick with them.
All right, so you took Michigan State and who?
I took Michigan State. Oh, I've got one more.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be the creative team. It's the UNC Asheville Bulldogs.
You can't create a team.
What? Why not?
Or can you? Can you create a team?
Yeah, you can create a team.
I have not seen that anywhere, but maybe you can.
I feel pretty sorry. I feel like that would have been a bigger discussion if they didn't put the team builder in here.
Yeah, there is a team builder in there.
Yes.
On you got to create it on the team builder website.
See, that's dumb. I hate that so much.
Why?
I don't know. It's just dumb.
Tank, I'm going to be real honest with you. You're not real apt with a computer. If you tried to create these things on with a PlayStation controller, whoo, buddy. Why don't you just call me and let me do it? I'll just do it for you.
Did you never create a team on Madden back in the day?
No.
It was the easiest thing. All you had to do was pick out a logo, pick out a color scheme, pick out your uniforms, and you're done.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't real easy.
No, my hope is that EA took the team builder thing from 2K, where you can build any team you want with any logo you want and really get intricate building the stage. I know they didn't. Just before anybody adds me, I know they didn't. 2K's had the corner on that forever. That's the only game I've ever really played with created teams. Because in 2K, I always just download the Seattle Supersonics and play with them.
I'm trying to read so you can create your own on the Team Builder website, design the uniforms, helmets, fields, upload your own logo. Then you can upload your own program and use it in Play Now and Dynasty Mode.
Sweet.
Definitely.
I did not know that. I used to do that with, now that you mentioned I did used to do that with UNC Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't have a football program back in the day.
Right. I've always done it with UNC Asheville.
Okay, so
and then you can use the same logos from the other teams. You just find you a Bulldog logo. Western
the designer in me, I hate. In Madden, you move a team, and then all of a sudden we're the London Haze, and it's a purple cloud. Gross. You left me my two schools, so you made this super easy. It's Florida State and West Virginia.
Good for you.
One of them I get the chop, one of them I get country roads, and I win.
And you win?
And I win.
Every time. And every time you win, you have a little party. Just turn on the celebration and crack
you
yourself
can
a
rest
beer.
assured if they didn't put country roads in this game, every time I win a game, Reynolds Mountain's about to hear some John Denver. John D's coming out every time Jeremy gets a dub.
See, and now you're using the brain, right? Like, okay, so they didn't put it in the game, but every time you win, you can play it on your own.
Oh, yeah, and I have a sound bar where I can play two things at once and make it sound like it's in the game. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. See?
Electronics. I may not know how to run a damn garbage disposal, but I did learn a book one time. Let's go.
He loves learning his books. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. 2 weeks from the release of College Football 25. When we return, we'll continue the discussion on some of the most loaded teams in the NFL for 2024.
One essential podcast for the
And clear.
Paris Olympics.
You know you had one more
Matt
pick in
Rogers
that, right?
host a new podcast that's all about the athlete
No, I did not.
Head in the game.
you had
as Zac
another
Efron once said.
and the culture.
Not French.
Well-
I have no association with the nation of France. But you did live in Montreal.
Of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Listen to Two Guys, Five Rings on America's #1
I'm creating Trump University.
app. Search Two Guys, Five Rings and start listening.
So the body knows that it needs to heal itself, but it doesn't know how to concentrate it and target it into.
It's going to be a customized schedule. We're just going to play the Democratic Party every week.
Means the nation's leader in
Joe
regenerative
Biden
medicine,
University after the show
QC
and take
Kinetics.
me a
We put
hell of
in
a
those
nap, then forget
treatments,
about
then
it.
it sends out like little signalers to your body. We're able to make the body focus on the areas that need the most healing.
QC Kinetics.
Yeah, the logo is just the toupee.
Like Dr. Caravelli and Dr. Mitchell Shinecup,
Oh, it's
a
just his
pioneer
hair?
in the field
Yeah, just his hair.
to lead the way in these innovative pain treatments.
So at QC Kinetics, we have a whole team working nationwide with cutting edge research to reach our patients.
A Cheeto with a pompadour. How about that?
No longer their only option.
The consultation is free. Find out if you're a candidate. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Above and beyond. That's what defines our commitment to our customers at Parks Ford Hendersonville. As your hometown dealer, Parks Ford works hard for you to provide a one-of-a-kind buying experience through incredible service, honest communication, and trusted accountability. Stop by to experience the Parks Promise yourself, a promise to do better, to be better every day. We can't wait to meet you and help you find the right vehicle for you. Stop in and shop ParksFordHendersonville.com. That's ParksFordHendersonville.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Here's to the helpers. To the ones who grow up knowing that life is about more than finishing first. It's about finishing together. At Ingalls, we know that doing your part doesn't mean doing for yourself. It means doing what you can. Even though you might not seek the spotlight, we see you. And we're grateful. Ingalls. Low prices. Love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
We're just dumber than a bag of hammers.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, continuing our team-by-team previews of the NFL season, recaps of the offseason, previews of what's to come, and today we're discussing some of the most loaded teams in the NFL, skill position-wise. And so next up, Jeremy, I want to talk about the Chicago Bears, because I feel like this is a team that just They did that whole Houston thing where just in a couple of years they've flipped this from a complete disaster to now you may have something here. They've got talent on the defensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, obviously, Caleb Williams, the number one pick. How is he going to translate to the NFL? But he's got all the weapons that you could ask for to get started. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, Cole Kmet at tight end, DeAndre Swift at running back. They've got depth at running back as well with Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert. This is one of the best skill position teams out there.
It's a pretty loaded roster with one great big question mark. I'm not sure how good Caleb Williams actually is. I had this problem when he was coming out. I have this problem now. And look, we made some pretty good friends from Chicago while we were on our little trips around the world. He was awful in minicamp. I get that it's minicamp. I get it. He was awful. And I'm afraid that exactly what I said is going to come home to roost. That there was this expectation because he was billed out to be Trevor Lawrence or Andrew Luck or John Elway that he's just going to come in here because this team is absolutely loaded and this is going to be seamless. I got news for you. It's not going to be. It's not. They play the Houston Texans in week 2, and it's in Houston. That's not going to go well for you. Just mark my words, it's not going to go well. And in those first 4 games, you play Tennessee, who is way better than people think. You play a night game at Houston. You play at Indianapolis, and you play the Rams. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I would say there's a better than 20% chance you're starting this year 0-4. Now, from there, it leans out considerably. I think this team will be fine because you are right. They do have very good weapons. But I don't think this is going to start the way that Gambit basically took the words right out of my mouth. Are we being a bit too premature on this Texans comparison with the Bears? I mean, look, we thought the Texans were awful. They came out and proved it. They had no expectations whatsoever. And if you think those two things aren't related to each other, I got a bridge to sell you. Mm-hmm. They caught teams by surprise. They believed in themselves. Oh, and by the way, there's still that one thing that nobody seems to want to talk about. Matt Eberflus is still not a very good head coach. D'Amico Ryans, I think, stepped in as a top 10 coach in this league. That's how much we believed in him coming from coordinator to head coach. Do you see Matt Eberflus that way?
No. Nobody sees Matt Eberflus that way. There are differences here. Clearly. You need the quarterback to make the step, right? C.J. Stroud came in and blew everybody away in year 1, and immediately you saw, okay, this is going to be special. You knew from the first couple of weeks of the C.J. Stroud era that this was going to be something. Does Caleb have to come in and have that kind of an impact to show that this team has made that turnaround? I don't think so.
A Texans level turnaround? Yes. I actually think he has to be better than C.J. Stroud because I think the Texans roster is better. I think the Texans roster is better. I think their coach is better. I think their division is better. Or well, it was last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, if you told me that Caleb Williams came in here and was a 64 completion percentage guy, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and he only got sacked 38 times, how many games do the Bears win?
11.
I would probably agree with you on that. C.J. Stroud went 9-6. That was his stat line from last year.
Okay.
That's arguably the best rookie year we've ever seen out of a quarterback in NFL history. Now, what if he plays, 15 games, 60-ish% completion guy, 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he sacked 55 times? Does that sound does that sound closer to where you think this is going to be? Because it definitely does to me.
Yeah. It feels about in the ballpark.
That was Justin Fields in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
What does that team do? 8-9 at best.
Maybe. I was going to say 9-8.
They were 3-12 with Justin Fields. I feel like we've chalked this up that the Bears are all of a sudden this top 10, top 12 team in the league, and they're just not. That roster, that coaching staff, none of that screams, hey, this is a top 10 roster to me. Are they better than the Packers right now? Honestly, that's an honest-to-God question. Are they better than the Green Bay Packers right now?
No.
No. Are they better than the Detroit Lions right now?
No.
No. Then stop comparing them to the Texans. It's the third best team in their own division, and this division's not as good as the one the Texans are in. That is the biggest thing that scares me about the Bears is that we're walking in with this inflated sense of self that is, I mean, I got news for you. In those first 6 weeks, you're going to get your brains beat out twice. I'm as sure of that as I have ever been of anything in my entire life. Mm-hmm. If you come out of that 3-3, you should be happy. Because that 6th game is in London. You get an early bye week, and then the schedule leans out. It firms up towards the end because you have to play Detroit twice, San Francisco, at Green Bay, Seattle.
I was going to say, other than those 2 games with the Vikings, that's not really leaning out all that much.
Well, that middle spot right there, I mean, you go Washington, Arizona, New England, Green Bay, Minnesota. I'm not really sure how you could get a better 5-game stretch than that in the league.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about after that. The Green Bay to Green Bay stretch.
Well, that's what I'm.
Yeah, I get two games with the Vikings. The rest of that, I could get scattered, smothered, and covered 4 of those weeks.
All right, so I think you're missing what I'm saying. To me, the Bears season boils down into basically 3 sections. Okay. You get that first 6 weeks. If you come out of that 3-3, you should be jumping for joy. You go into the bye week, hope some things click there. Then you get a 5-game stretch where, in all reality, you should go 4-1. Mm-hmm. Even if you lose to Green Bay, you should still go 4-1 because you're better than those other 4 teams. Now you're sitting at 7-4 going into a tough stretch of the season. The hope is that you don't crash and burn and lose them all because then you finish 7-10. What I think will happen is that they go about 9-8. And it's a tale of 3 completely different seasons because in the beginning we're talking about what in the world did we fall for? Matt Eberflus has to be fired. This is a disaster. Then they turn a corner after the bye week, and then you end the season with 4-6 on the road, and I feel like you're going to need to win 4 of them to make the playoffs. And I don't think you can do it.
Yeah.
And I have this sneaking suspicion that Chicago does basically exactly what I just said. We walk out of this year as they finish the 8 in the NFC. They're the first team out. And somebody's head's going to roll. And it's Matt Eberflus, and it's not even debatable to me. They missed the playoffs. He's fired.
Really? Okay.
He's 10-24 in 2 years. This will be the second top 10 pick quarterback you have given him. And you will have gotten a 9-8 result as the best that it could possibly, as the best that you have done. In 3 years in the NFL, that's Elemento fired. He walks out of this year with a career record of, 19-32? Yeah, you're done. Mm-hmm. Then Caleb Williams is learning his second offensive scheme in 2 years.
Does it matter what the defense does?
No.
Does it matter if the defense is good and the offense sputters under Shane Waldron? Does it reflect poorly on him and he does get fired, even if the defense is one of the best in the league?
If the defense,
and they just lose because they can't score points.
Well, if they can't score points, I invested in my offense. I already had a pretty decent defense. Okay, great. My defense is still good. I'm still losing games. And then the mentality is going to be, we can't waste this rookie deal on Caleb Williams. We have to get an offensive system where we can score points at a high level because we got all the talent you could ever want. And then you go hire an offensive coach and find, and this has been said to me directly, we can find any idiot to put a defense together with this much talent.
Yeah.
Matt Eberflus here, you got a stay of execution, the fact that you got the number 1 pick in the draft. Had you not had that, I genuinely feel like he would have gotten fired. the handling of Justin Fields was an absolute disaster.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give them any reason to think that you're going to do that again with how much hope there is and hype there is in Chicago, you're doomed.
Mm-hmm. Look, I wasn't trying to say that the Chicago Bears are on the same level as the Houston Texans for 2024. But I feel like the Chicago Bears are the Houston Texans, potentially, of last year. If we didn't know, and if they come out and go close to making the playoffs, obviously Houston snuck in at the end to make the playoffs there. Had that what was that? That was a winner go home game, right?
Week
with
18.
Indianapolis. Do what?
That crazy Week 18 where Shane Steichen made the inexplicable decision to throw for it on 4th and a foot.
Right. They snuck in last year. If Chicago gets close and they can sneak in this year, then maybe
the fan base still won't be happy.
Then maybe they are at that point where they can make that turn next year.
That fan base still won't be happy because the thing you're still missing is perception.
Gung-ho? They're that gung-ho that it has to be a division title or a playoff win this year, and it's over.
Am I the only one that talked to these people in Indianapolis? Did you not look around the room and realize that 30% of the people there were Bears fans?
Mm-hmm.
It was all Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Go look, I know definitively our social medias are following theirs. Just go to the For You page and take a listen. I do it on a daily basis. Because I like these guys. I think they're doing really good work. I also look at them and go, you're getting the wool pulled over your eyes. That this is still, you got a rotting foundation here. You put a lot of new toys in front of this trailer, but it's still the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
This is still the same top to bottom that it's been for 40 years. And outside of one Super Bowl appearance, and I'm talking about after Ditka and the 85 team, you've had one Super Bowl appearance since. I'm not seeing a lot of difference here. I'm seeing a lot of glitz. I'm seeing a lot of glam. I'm also seeing a quarterback that I have absolutely no clue what it's going to be.
Yeah.
You read a Bears message board right now, and if you even mention the thought that they might miss the playoffs this year, you will get laughed out of that room. Trust me, I've seen me do it.
Yeah.
And there's a reason that every single time that happens, I go, wait and see.
Yeah.
I've read this book. Frankly, this is the New York Jets playbook. The Chicago Bears right now are doing the best imitation of the New York Jets I think I've ever seen, which is you're putting the cart before the horse. This was a bad team that now you expect to be really good, and there was no in-between. There was no growth period. You just think you're going to trot a ball out there and everybody's going to be fine. It does not tend to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
C.J. Stroud was special. They still went 9-6 with him at the helm. It's hard for me to believe they're going to be better than that.
No. Well, one thing you cannot deny is that Caleb Williams has the weapons to do so. If he is a capable quarterback in this league, then there's no excuse here for this not to work, at least offensively speaking, with the weapons that they put around Caleb Williams with the Chicago Bears. You're in the Sportsocracy. This ESPN Asheville most important message of the day is coming up next.
This is your
and we're clear.
Weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Continuing to push that sunshine across the sky, and for Tuesday, low 80s and sunny for early July, not bad. Tonight, mainly clear and 60 degrees, 50s in our cooler spots. Yeah, definitely seeing the AC get a break on that. 88 Wednesday and sunny. Independence Day, the 4th. On Thursday, isolated storms up near 90. From the Weather Channel, I'm Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The innovation you've been waiting for is here. The Big Cheez-It Crunch Wrap Supreme and Tostada from Taco Bell. 16 times the size, 16 times the cheesiness, 16 times the innovation. Get one today at participating stores for a limited time while supplies last.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
A weekend full of superstar performances.
Tickets are on sale now at AXS.com.
Hey, pool season fanatics, your summer persona is calling. It's time for sun-soaked party scenes at MGM Grand, new luxury cabanas at Bellagio, and sandy beach living at Mandalay Bay. Show off your poolside, only with MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5. That's 844-ADD-HELP-5.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
It is ESPN Asheville. This is the Sportsocracy, and it's time for the most important message of the day.
Don't do crimes.
And hey, guess where we're going for crimes today?
Florida.
Yep, it's our good old friends down in Florida.
Well, it's the crime capital. It's the dumb crime capital of the world. The actual crime capital of the world is Chicago.
Is that officially official?
I said it, so I'm going with yes.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure. My computer's wigging out here. So why don't you do your story first, and I'll try to figure out what the hell's going on with my computer.
My story is about one Jeffrey Allen Gibson. He is not necessarily the smartest man you ever met in your life. He was pulled over on June 20th. He was driving a blue Chrysler in Mount Dora, Florida. Now, the blue Chrysler did not have a license plate, so officers initiated a traffic stop. So they pull him over, and Gibson stated he was gifted the car 12 days earlier. Officer wrote in his report that this was somewhat verified by a title of the vehicle provided by Gibson, which did indicate that the vehicle was signed over on June the 8th. But the VIN led to a different license plate and was registered to a different owner. Well, Mr. Gibson had an explanation for that the man had died and it was signed over to him by his wife. The story doesn't necessarily make a ton of sense, but I understand how we got to where we're getting to. The officer had decided that he was going to give him just a written warning to get the car registered and get it legal and all of those things. But there was something about Mr. Gibson, who, by the way, I should point out, is proudly missing 2 of his front teeth, that just made him feel the urge to ask, could I search your car? Mr. Gibson said he had nothing to hide and provided consent. He just wanted to go to the passenger seat of the vehicle and enjoy him a cigarette whilst this search happened. So he pulls out his pack of cigarettes, which he held at his mouth just a little bit too long, and he took out his cigarette and he lit it. But the cop found it to be very strange that he had taken the cigarette out of the pack that way. So he looked in the floorboard and found several unopened packs of cigarettes. And so he decided to search those. Guess Tank, what do you think he found?
Crimes.
Found cocaine in a little plastic baggie with a straw. So Mr. Gibson here was getting ready to get off with a written warning on what sounds like he stole this car. We just couldn't prove it. He decided he needed a little bumperooski during the traffic stop. And that's what the officer saw. He was taking him a little tutor. And that was, he couldn't wait the 5 minutes. They weren't going to find this.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, how do you not fall down more? I mean, you obviously did because you got two doofuses that have done RUNNOFT.
Yeah.
If you Google this man's name, you will see a picture of him that is just, his mugshot is chef's kiss.
Yes, indeed.
Needless to say, he was arrested. He did put up, I believe he did put up bond though. Or no, I lied. I should have known. There was no way he was putting up $25,000 bond. He was released after 6 hours in jail in lieu of bond.
Ah, okay. Don't do crimes, especially in front of a cop. Also, if you're going to be a big tipper, it's probably a good idea to not try to take your tip back.
I've never been a big tipper, Tank. Average at best.
It's not what I hear at all about Jeremy. I hear you're a big tipper when you go out to restaurants. And apparently
you're referring to tipping wait staff. Yes, I'm a big tipper.
There is a kerfuffle going on as a restaurant is attempting to recover money that it had to pay out after a customer came in, ate $13.25 worth of food, and then left the waitress a $3,000 tip. That's a pretty good tip. $3,000 on $13 is awesome.
That's a tip that could be in the movies.
Yes, absolutely. Only this would have to end up being some sort of a comedy tragedy type of a story, because when the man left the $3,000 tip, the server chases him down in the parking lot and goes, "Wait a minute, sir, I think there's a mistake, right? Is this right?" The guy confirms. He showed them additional ID, apparently, to say that, yeah, this is what I want to do, and had written at the bottom of the check, "Tips for Jesus." Apparently, it was a social media thing that was going on around the internet back in 2022 when this infraction occurred. And I call it an infraction because, well, at one point, the credit card company calls, and the customer is now disputing the $3,000 charge that went through on the card. They paid the waitress the $3,000 tip, but then they had to end up paying back the customer $3,000 because he was a jackwagon. How do you live with yourself, right? Going through, like, using the name of our Lord and Savior as a social media sting or whatever, right? I'm gonna get a pop off of this on my social media.
Well,
I guess would be the only reason that you would do this.
Well, I mean, because you're a turd. That's the
right, and then dispute the charge.
Now,
Absolutely
I understand
ridiculous.
if you did that, say, in a strip club, and you wanted to dispute the charge. You're still a jackal, but at least you're not, going to spend all eternity in a very hot place.
The thing that made the story funnier to me was the fact that it took place in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which made me immediately think, oh, God, Michael Scott's out here doing shenanigans again.
Good for you.
He didn't realize. I didn't realize. I wanted to take that back. It's $3,000 tip. I was trying to be nice. I'm still being nice if I take it back, right? I did the deed. It's not how any of that works.
Good for you.
Final loaded team to discuss today on the program, looking to the 2024 NFL season. It doesn't get much better than the weapons of the Cincinnati Bengals. Or does it? They still have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They still have Joe Burrow, clearly, as their quarterback. But is this team as dangerous as it was, Jeremy?
I believe so. I think they're every bit as good as they've been in the past.
With no Joe Mixon now.
It's a running back. It's most discretionary position in the NFL, and now they have 4. I think they have 4 guys that are all interchangeable.
Mm-hmm.
They all have roles. They're all better at certain things.
Yeah, I was going to say the question is any of them good?
I mean, look, we've seen Zach Moss be good recently. Chase Brown had a nice little bump last year. Travion Williams, we haven't seen a ton from, but, I mean, he's proven that he's pretty good in space with the ball in his hand. And Chris Evans, I mean, he's your 4. I've seen a little bit of good from him, just not much. And most of it's been in the passing game.
Yeah. And, of course, they picked up Jermaine Burton in the draft this year. He'll come in and be the third option on that in that wide receiver room.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Gesicki gets added. That's the best tight end, probably, at least pass-catching tight end that Joe Burrow's had.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget Eric All that they took in the draft.
I had forgotten about that.
This is a team that offensively should be absolutely terrifying. And I think their offensive line is better than it's been in ever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still have Cordell Volson, but there's nothing I can do about that.
I've got other pieces that I could possibly throw in there, maybe.
And I think the defense will be fine. You're going to get into some shootouts. It's not you don't have that true one corner, I don't think, which in this division is not necessarily the biggest problem you've ever had. You just got to be able to get after the quarterback, and I think they can. I look for Miles Murphy to take a step this year. The defensive line it's probably not as good at the top after losing DJ Reader, but it's deeper than I remember it ever being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about Cincinnati the way that other people seem to be.
I don't know what the biggest problem people have here is. I mean, other than the Joe Mixon thing. Like, if you just completely don't believe that Zach Moss and Chase Brown and any of those guys are serviceable, which I feel like they are serviceable at the least. That's the only real position, though, and I look at this team and go, that's what people think are going to hold back Cincinnati. I mean, that or injury-prone Joe Burrow.
Joe Mixon is a way better fantasy football player than he is real-life football player. He's middling running back. He has been for the better part of his career, honestly. If Joe Mixon's your big takeaway, like that's what you're worried about, I'm not really going to put a whole lot of credence in anything else you have to say. If you were high on Cincinnati a year ago and you're not now, and that's the reason you're giving me, okay. It's like telling me the earth is flat. You're not really going to recover from that for me.
Right.
Oh, so you're a crazy person. Okay. Go eat your crayons, preferably over there.
Right.
Now, if you have questions about the defense, that I'll listen to all day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily see it. And then there is the elephant in the room of they have the easiest schedule in that division, and it's really not all that close.
Is it?
They finished last in the division. So they get Carolina and Washington and the Giants and, well, they play the NFC East, so that one doesn't change. But they play the worst team out of every division. In a division that I think is this close, those 3 or 4 games of difference, that can be enough. And I think them and Cleveland are really close, and I think they're only like half a step behind Baltimore. And I would say they're a full step ahead of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And when you've got a quarterback that good, if I get to the dance, I would not bet against me.
You're never going to be able to have a great season when you lose one of the best players in the league. And the fact that they only had Joe Burrow for 10 games last year, I think it's another one of those scenarios where people are just kind of they're being cautiously optimistic here. We know what you have. We've seen how good it can be. But the prognostication for 2024 has to reflect, for many of us, the uncertainty around that position. Fully healthy, this team's expected, or should be expected, to threaten the top teams in the AFC. Right, for that AFC championship, for a trip to the Super Bowl. But what's a failure? The rest of that schedule is not very easy.
Well, I mean,
and
nobody
so if
in the AFC has an easy schedule.
No. But if they end up as a 9-10 win team, then what do we do? Then what's the next step for Cincinnati? You start thinking Zach Taylor's got to go?
I don't. I think you'd have to crater for that to even cross my mind.
Okay.
And I don't see it. Cincinnati, to me, is one of the safest teams in the NFL. They're going to win 9, 10, or 11 games. I don't see a chance for it to be better than that because, I mean, they're playing an AFC schedule. I don't think anybody in the AFC is going to win more than 13 games.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't see a path outside of Joe Burrow getting hurt that leads to them being below 500.
Yeah. You got a leg up with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, and, of course, Joe Burrow, a healthy one, delivering them the ball. It's going to be hard to see this team losing many games throughout any season, regardless of who's going to be on that schedule. That'll do it for us this week here in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. Hope everyone has a very safe holiday, the Independence holiday. Let's not forget what it's all about, and we will be back with you on Monday.
Celebrate your nation's independence by blowing up a small part of it.
Indeed. We'll see you then.
What's up, everybody?
And we're clear.
Smith, host of the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at the very least as I bring you all new episodes that feature the biggest headlines in the world of sports, pop culture, and business. And I answer your phone calls and respond to your tweets. You'll hear my unfiltered opinions and straight-shooter interviews with top celebrities and game changers. All that and more. So listen to the Stephen A. Smith Show podcast on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast.
In this edition of the Marketers Report, Angela Zepeda, Chief Marketing Officer of Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us, but all of it's been extremely helpful, and we have seen a huge return on our investment. The methodology by which we're approaching audio and then seeing the real results with real numbers has helped us continue to invest moving forward. One of the things that's been really important for us is to see the extension of reach to new audiences that we could not really speak to before. We get about a 20% lift adding